The following is a special presentation of iRacing on LSRTV, your home for sim racing. Live tonight from the Myrtle Beach Speedway, it is week number 13 of the 2018 Myrtle Beach Simulation Series presented by the Championship Esports Association, and we're happy to have you with us tonight on your home for sim racing and iRacing Live, where we say good evening sim racing fans, and welcome back to the Myrtle Beach Speedway, the final race of this series on this side of the 2017 calendar, as we get set to race off into the new year after tonight, as well continue to race off into this championship as we begin to slowly work ourselves into the end of this thing. But we have a full slate of action up for you this evening with 6 different series in action, and as always, we're happy to be a part of this one. Up top tonight in the LSRTV booth alongside of myself, Evan Pasoko, joined by William Hale and Trevin Valderrama. As always, downstairs twisted and tweaking at aisles is our producer Cisco Scaramuza. And will we come into this one last race on the year, and not to suggest that things have been, I don't know if lackadaisy is the right way to put it, but last time out we only had 2 races on the night. It was a special tour modified main event. The week before that we had a Chargers double feature. The week before that we had a special event with the Nash for Cash Nationals. We haven't had 6 different series in action in one night, I don't think all season long. So tonight's a special one, William, for sure, and we're excited to get it all kicked off with the mini stocks on track first.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting night. All 6 divisions out here in force tonight, and it's the last race of the year. A lot of nerves up before the end of the year. Just going to be an exciting night altogether. Going to have a lot of action coming at you, and it's going to be pretty fun to watch.
We're going to get kicked off here with the cars on track, Trevin, 30 laps in the mini stock division. We will then have Legends, Street Stocks, the Chargers, the Super Trucks, and the ever so exciting new cars to end out the night. But first time this year, 6 different divisions in action, all nice and short races, no double features this evening. So there's a lot of points spread across a lot of different divisions in this series up for grabs this evening.
Yeah, all the series are tonight, and it's going to be awesome. A lot of different points up. Some of these series are very close in points, so every point counts. And coming into the final race of the year, you're going to want to get every single point possible, and then that just also means you're one race closer to the end of the season. So you also got to race for those points right there as well. So a lot of hard battling I'm expecting tonight to see.
We are set to get the night of racing kicked off, so let's go trackside and take a look at tonight's LSRTV starting grid for the mini stock main event. Pole position on this one going to go to the number 6 machine of Tommy Ryan. Oh, so good. He has been all season long in this mini stock division. He comes into tonight with a 9-point lead in the championship, and he will bring us to the green flag this evening, joined shotgun on the front row by the 58 of David Messier, who will roll from second. Gabe Wood and Matthew Tucker going to make up row 2. They will start in 3rd and 4th position, respectively, with DJ Beverly rounding out the top 5. William.
And Jeremy Watkins starting in the 6th position in that 90 car with Ricky Harden, there, starting 7th in the 15 car, and Jody Green in the 13 car there, rounding up the 8 car field tonight.
Look top to bottom at your starting grid. The lights on top of the base car. We will go green the next time around. And as these, Wednesday nights always start, we are in daytime conditions at the time being. We will work ourselves into the evening as the night goes on, but it is a 30-lap mini stock feature to open up the night. Tommy Roddenenchen has a championship lead, 9 points over top of Ricky Harden, who is only 9 back behind in P2. Then it is a big gap to the likes of Matthew Tucker, Dwight Beverly, and Tyler Lugo Vickery. So look for the top 2 in the championship to make a splash. Right here, right now, as always, we're happy that you're with us at LSRTV and our Racing Live. Let's go short track racing on a Wednesday night. Looking for the American Ethanol green flag, and we are off and away. Mini stock racing on week 13.
Number 6, Tommy Ryan gets a great start, pulling out in front of everybody else, followed quickly behind. That's Gabriel Wood, second place, too wide. Now the number 58 into the wall. That's David Messier.
So that's a tough break for him right out of the gate. Started this one up towards the front of the field, and for Messier, the number 58 machine is going to go all the way to the back. Really didn't look like he was forced up there, just tried to maybe push that turn 2 a little bit too wide, Will, and got into the fence, and he went the wrong direction.
Yeah, I mean, that's upsetting. He just got the wall a little bit there, turned around like you said, and just ended up the wrong direction.
So no caution. Obviously, he got into the wall. He didn't go around or anything. So this race is going to maintain under green flag racing conditions. Spread out amongst the top 3 or so. Trevin Funny third on the back, though. DJ Beverly just got overtaken by the 15 of Ricky Harden. So Harden second in the championship. Trying to close in on Tommy Ryan tonight. Gets up to third, but it is a mess behind these guys. And I think that was Yoakum. Randy Yoakum tags the fence. He'll lose a spot to Jody Green.
That's the second car that we've seen in the wall tonight. There's only 30 laps in here, so it's a relatively short amount of time to get something done. So these guys have got to, get themselves locked in and get ready to go. Tucker trying to make a move on DJ Beverly. You see him dive to the inside, going into turn number 1. We'll see if he takes a different line. I know he's going to fall in right behind Beverly. See if he can do something else coming into the turn 3 area, but you got to watch also for them to go below that white line in turn 1, because there's bumps there. So we've seen drivers time and time again get into those bumps, and then it gets their cars out of shape. So we'll have to watch for that as well tonight.
It's going to be something that's a factor not only in this mini stock division that gets tonight opened up, but of course across all divisions as the night goes on. Working right now, 9 cars starting this race. All 9 of them still scored on the lead lap. It is David Messier at the back of the group at the moment. A little bit of a separation between first and second, and then third, fourth, and company on the back. And in fact, Ricky Harden, though, Hale, kind of in the middle here. He's got 0.8 of a second to get to the guys up front, but he's also got 0.8 of a second to the guys behind him, trying to bridge the gap. And last couple of times around, fastest car on track right there with the lap times that your race leader's putting down.
Yeah, he's got over 2/3 of this race left. He's I wouldn't be surprised if he's saving a little bit right now. He's just trying to reel back in the top 2. Having a good solid run, like you mentioned earlier. He's second in points right now. Just need to get a good run going.
Also taking a look at an exchange with the 13 to 43. That's Matthew Tucker up on the outside of the racetrack, is still successfully holding on. Jody Green, Trevin tried to go to the inside the last time by, didn't work out, and Green will try to hit the reset button. Already +2 positions on the night. Matthew Tucker has dropped the spot after started in 4th. He fell to 5th after DJ Beverly got around him in that 42 machine, who is not really pulling away either. The 42's actually got some pretty substantial damage on the left front of that car. We'll see if these guys get up to him, but in the meantime, 13 gonna try the inside again, side by side at lap 10.
You see Jody Green really liking that inside line. He's trying to get it done for him for the past few times that he's tried to pass him. As you see now, he's getting a nose out in front, but that's in the center of the corner. Will he be able to hold it coming off? But no, that top side has got a little bit a little bit in front of him. He's going to try to get on that bottom, still holding it down very closely to that bottom line. He's able to stay with him a little bit more at a time, but that top line just keeps on prevailing coming out of the corner. So he's got to watch for that, and he's got to set up for that, and he's got to make changes for that. Maybe try and find a different line going into the corner, set him up, maybe get to the outside of him as well. You know, you're almost halfway to the finish, so you got to get something done.
It is a short go at it in these mini stocks, 30 laps between the drop of the green and the checkered flag this evening. And so far, under green flag conditions throughout. Again, still monitoring intervals. This fight for 5th and 6th position continues to be the closest battle on the racetrack. Tommy Ryan still leading this one as he has for the get-go. Gabe Wood is about 0.3 of a second off of his bumper P2. Ricky Harden is still that 0.8 of a second off in 3rd. Other than that, there is nothing else going on up front, and it looks like once again the 43 of Tucker remaining on the inside of the racetrack and able to finally break through, get back to where he started. Jody Green not going to give it up though, back to the inside. Now they're swapping out on the lines that they were defending on. The attack comes and side by side once more, and this is a racetrack hill that really lends itself to this kind of action.
Yeah, I mean, Myrtle Beach is really a true groove racetrack, and especially in these mini stocks right here. You can run side by side for multiple laps. You can do it for all 30 laps if you wanted to. You're not going to make any time up on the guys in front of you, but you can put on a really good show as, you know, now they're 4th and 5th, put on a really good show running side by side for multiple laps.
Oh, and there's going to be contact. Tucker into the outside wall at the halfway point. I think Green had the inside, and I don't know if it was a little bit of a block by Tucker, if it was a little bit of a high entry by Jody Green, but that number 43 is really hurting after it got ushered up into the outside wall. No yellow, still green at the moment, but I don't know if Tucker's going to be able to keep that car going straight with the damage it has. Drops back to P6, but he's really limping it around.
That was hard contact into the outside wall. Once that contact happened with Jody Green, you can see him starting to, or trying to fight the wheel. It appears he's getting loose right now, sideways going into turn number 2, into the inside wall, into the grass. You can see that incident really hurting him. And now there's no caution that's going to happen, I believe. But
caution's out for the 43, and kind of called that one there with the 43 machine getting, you know, I could just tell that it wasn't going to stick there. You can hit the wall and just tighten up the car, but that 43 looked really unstable after he smacked the wall and kind of predicted. I don't think it counts as a commentator's curse predicting it with a damaged race car, and I said I don't think that car is going to make it to the end, and it does spin out. That changes the complexion in this race as we go back under the caution flag. I think the biggest thing here though is, as the pace car picks everybody up, is that yes, Tommy Ryan and Gabe Wood looked pretty even, but Ricky Harden was the driver closing the gap. Remember, he started this race in 7th, got up to 3rd, and had a big deficit to overcome if he wanted to get up there. He'll be right on the back bumper to these guys now for a restart at about 10 laps to go.
Yeah, I think that 15 car, Ricky Harden, I think if he can get a clean restart right here, if he can get up on the wheel in the restart, get inside of the 00, get clear of the 00 of Gabe Wood, and get on Tommy Ryan's back bumper, I think he has a shot to win this race.
Pace car leading the field around. They're going to have the opportunity to choose which line they want to be in this time by the cone car, and you would expect Tommy Ryan to go low side. He will, but so does Gabe Wood. Ricky Harden going to go top side, so a big move here. Gabe Wood P2 elects to go behind the 6, which means that 3rd place runner Ricky Harden is going to find himself in the front row, Trev, and this could be big. The restart will come with 20 down and 10 to go.
Absolutely, this could be big, but you have seen that top line prevail coming out of the corner. So if that number 15 machine stay side by side with Tommy Ryan, we're gonna have to watch to see what happens coming out of turn 2.
If the gamble pays off, if Gabe Wood is onto something inside of row number 2, could it be the final restart on the night as we go back green from Myrtle Beach Speedway. Green flag in the air, and the 15 is right there, step for step, with the 6 of Tommy Ryan. So the side-by-side battle for the race lead goes to 1 and 2. Gabe Wood trying to get a nose at the inside of the 15 to box him out, but we continue to fight for P1.
15 car and the 6 car going right at it. Said before the restart, the 15 car can get to the 6. He has a shot to win this race. Well, he's showing it right now. They are side by side as they cross the line, and the 15 showing he's got something on the high side.
Six Machine's going to make a dive in. I was looking for the big run to come off for the corner for Hart, and he does have a little bit of an advantage, but not as big as I thought it would be. And that way, the crossover is going to come. So now Ricky Harden to the inside of the racetrack. Does this now give him the preferred position? The top two in the championship run top two at a racetrack at lap 23 of 30. And Gabe Wood right now, not enough to get all the way up to them, but has a really good front row seat to this fight.
This is a fantastic battle that we got going on between Tommy Ryan and Ricky Harding. I was saying earlier, you know, if he got to the top side, he can come out on top as he just did. So now he's got the file in single file, but now he has Gabriel Wood on the back bumper, now getting to the corner panel in turn number one on those bumps, using every single inch of that racetrack, coming down the backstretch. But Ricky Harding out on top right now, or excuse me, that's Tommy Ryan out on top right now, and then Ricky Harding in second place.
Harden ends up P2, and I think that might be it. It was a valiant charge. I think the Six Machine was able to make the inside of the racetrack work just basically right off of the restart, but then had the preferred protective defensive line, if you will, topside for when the 15 crossed him up. And Tommy Ryan is looking to run away with this one with 5 laps to go. He is not far enough away, though, to make a mistake. Any sort of a small slip-up brings the 15 right back into the picture, and even Gabe Wood is right there trying to make it a three-way battle for the race lead before this thing is done.
Ricky Harden is using every inch of this racetrack he can. He's hitting the wall on corner entry. He's trying to catch Tommy Ryan so hard. He's pushing up out of the corner. He's using every bit of the car he can. He wants this one bad.
Running out of time, almost to the point where we might not get an opportunity to restart this race if a yellow flag were to come out. The manual pace car that we use in this Myrtle Beach Simulation Series helps, and Gabe Wood now may have to bank on that because he tags the wall coming out of turn 2, and Jody Green is right there on the doorstep, maybe making it a fight for third and fourth before this race is done. But next time by, we will take 2 laps to go from Myrtle Beach, and Ricky Harden is still 2.5, 3 car lengths out the back end. Run a little bit sideways that time at a 2. The 15 closes now to turn 3.
Harden trying to get to the back bumper, or at least all he can hope for right now is just keep Ryan's mirror full of him, so maybe it pushes him to do a mess up and just give him an inside line or give him another shot. But also Jody Green trying to get to the back bumper of Gabriel Wood, trying to get his steal third place away. As you see now, Harden looking to the inside as we're coming to the white flag, Evan.
I think he's close enough that if he wants to make a move and use the front end of that car, he can. How badly do you want the win? Final mini stock race on 2017. Tommy Ryan overdrives the corner, though, and Harden's going to have a look to the inside. Here we go to turn number 3. Trying to make it side by side. Harden is going to be there, but he can't get back to the gas. He'll turn him, and they will spin across the line, and Tommy Ryan's still going to be the first one there.
That was an amazing race to the line right there. 15 to Ricky Harden wanted it really bad. He drove into 3 hard. The 6 gave him the bottom, just didn't have enough to come back around him. Got into the 6 there and just turned him around in the middle of the straightaway. Good race all around, really. That's just racing.
Not much left to that car. You had to think, Trevin, that Harden was going to at least consider it. Took a look to the inside, was right there on the bumper. And then, obviously, if you're sitting on the guy's left rear and you're in the final corner on the last lap, not necessarily promoting dumping somebody, but I think we all expected the 15 to at least give him a little bit of a nudge. At very minimum, you know, try to loosen him up and get him a little bit uncomfortable. And I think that's what the intention behind it was. And Harden did end up turning him. The problem is, though, Ryan spun down across his bumper. So essentially, it was the 15 pushing the sideways 6 machine across the line. The likes of Gabe Wood and Jody Green, third and fourth, were a little bit too far back to really gain much on that.
Yeah, the slip up by Ryan in turn number 1 really gave Harden a good shot at a chance at the win. So he took the opportunity that he had, and he sent it in there, and it just didn't work out in the end. Get
a word with the driver involved in all of the excitement in a moment. First, as always, though, we take this opportunity to take a quick look top to bottom at your LSRTV full race results. The top two in the championship fought it out to the very end, but it is Tommy Ryan who's going to victory lane tonight in the mini stocks and will gain a little bit in the grand scheme of things in the championship after he started up front and led, I think, all the laps this evening. Had a couple of challenges, maybe the 15 got a nose once or twice, but it was very much a Tommy Ryan dominant night. Harding comes home in second position. Gabe Wood is third this evening with Jody Green fourth and David Messier in fifth. Matthew Tucker is going to come home at a number 6 position as well. Randy Yoakum just tucked in behind him in 7th spot. Jeremy Watkins is coming home at 8th position, and DJ Beverly does not make it to the conclusion of this one. He was the only driver that did not finish on the lead lap, and he will round out the field in 9th position. And we'll take this opportunity now to go trackside with the driver of the number 6 machine. Tommy Ryan is your winner tonight in the mini stocks division. Tommy, congratulations on the trip to victory lane. You guys started up front. You looked, at least I would say, to halfway pretty comfortable. I know that Gabe Wood was kind of tucked up on you there, but that 0.3 of a second gap really wasn't going anywhere, and then all of a sudden a yellow came out.
Yeah, I was just trying to maintain the gap, not make a mistake, and I did a couple of times, and he did too. And then the caution, of course, came out. Ricky took the outside. I knew he was going to be racing me hard there, which we typically do each other. But yeah, it was a fun race, man. Just try to keep it together and hit your marks for as long as you can. There's not a whole lot of cars in there, so I was expecting some long green runs, so I was trying to be as consistent as I could.
Obviously, you guys are very good in this series on a consistent basis. I know that you and Ricky find yourself racing around each other a lot, and it is a pretty big difference between you P1, he P2, and then everybody else in the championship standings. This is your 5th win, though. You're keeping them down at 1, despite the fact that you both have the same amount of top 5s, the same amount of top 10s. It seems like you guys are able to translate those top 5s into wins at a more consistent basis. Tell us about that.
Yeah, like you say, man, it's just about being consistent, and as long as you have the track position and don't do anything really stupid, you know, you get too close to the wall. There's a couple of guys got the old-fashioned wall glue that iRacing has, but just don't make mistakes. And I'm really good at not doing that, so I'm just trying to concentrate and keep strolling along here, man.
It was a solid one for you, and I know that there's plenty of racing coming up this evening, so we'll let you take off. The sponsors, though, the shout-outs who makes it happen for you, not only in these mini stocks, but in all the divisions.
Obviously, Northern Tool and Equipment, Coastal Safety Officers, DJ Beverly is sponsoring some stuff I'm doing, and it's a great partnership there. I look forward to doing a lot of stuff with him in the future. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
We appreciate you. Tommy, congratulations. 5th win in these mini stocks. That number would suggest to me that you guys would be well out in front of this thing, but I know that Ricky's going to make things interesting come the 2018 side of things. But thanks for talking. Congratulations again, and best luck for the rest of the night.
All right, man. Thanks, guys.
Winner tonight to open it up at mini stocks. Good news, we still have 5 races, and coming up next, the Legends cars take to the racetrack. It is the shortest race on the night, and it's coming up next. You're watching LSRTV's continuing coverage of the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series, presented by the Championship Esports Association on your home for sim racing and iRacing Live.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
And welcome back live to the Myrtle Beach Speedway, where LSRTV's coverage of lucky week number 13 of the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series continues tonight, as always presented by the folks at the Championship Esports Association. Rolling on into race 2 of 6 on the evening. Tommy Ryan taking home an excited win earlier this evening. In fact, I guess just moments ago in the mini stocks. And we head to the Legends cars, Trevin. I think some of the funnest cars on the surface. Very small, very fast, and they come into us with a little bit of a more interesting championship plot, if you will. We come into this evening with Christian Peterson at the top of the championship standings, 12 points. Back to Brandon Wilkinson, second, and then Matthew Tucker, 37, a little bit of a jump back, third in points. Richard Reagan Jr., fourth, is 61 back. But this Christian Peterson, Brandon Wilkinson fight is something that I'm looking forward to developing as the season has gone on, and I think that 26 is getting a lot closer to good old 23 in recent weeks, so this one should be good and a lot bigger car count for this Legends race than what we just saw moments ago to open up the night in the mini stocks.
Yeah, these guys are mad fast around this track right here, so it's going to be an awesome display of Legends around this track for 25 laps. It's a short amount of time, and these guys are fast, so it's going to be a short race, so these guys, again, have little time to get something done for them tonight.
The quick warm-up session is going to round to a close, and we are going to get set to go race. And I noted this is the shortest race on the evening. It is one of 2 25-lap races. We will end the evening with the U-Cars division race, which is always an interesting one, if that's the right adjective we're going to use. And our producer is going to be down trackside of that one as well. So we look forward to that one. But 25 laps is not a lot of time in these cars. So let's take a look at the critical track position and the order in which they will roll off in as we take a look at our LSRTV starting grid. A pole position in this one going to go to the 00 of Gabriel Wood. He will start up front, accompanied by Randy Oakham, the outside of row number 2, or the outside of front row in position number 2. Will Trevicki will start third position tonight with DJ Beverly fourth, and Ricky Harden rounds out your top 5. It on through David Messier outside row 3, P6. Brandon Wilkinson 7th. Rafe Slade is going to end up 8th spot for this one. Paul Henley is 9th, and Blake Neer rounds out your top 10. Brian Simpson is P11 this evening. Matthew Tucker back on P12 at the outside of row number 6. Jeremy Watkins is 13th. And a big note here, Christian Peterson way back in 14th position. Going to have to work his way up to the pack. Something that we've seen him be able to do many a time, but not going to have as much time to do it this evening. Also behind tail race winner for moments ago to many stocks, Tommy Ryan is 15th position in this one. Jody Green is 16th with 17th position, Jeff Ryan, and then that looks like it rounded out. 17 cars top to bottom in this one, so drivers are doubled up and getting set to go green flag racing in the Legends cars. This division tends to be a little bit more rough and tough compared to the likes of the mini stocks and such. It is the 3rd largest division in the Championship Esports Association's Myrtle Beach Simulation Series, next to the U-Cars and, of course, the Blue Ridge Napa late models, which have the evening off. And that Premier Series will return on the 2018 side of the calendar. But here we go again for 25 laps for the Myrtle Beach Speedway. We look for the American Ethanol green flag in the air and off side by side to turn 1. Still running with the 30 machine of, looks like Will Trevicki there, kind of all by himself. Watch the way, though, that the inside and the outside lanes of the racetrack work, especially in these Legends cars, more so compared to, what we saw a little bit earlier on as well in the mini stocks. Basically, top 4 cars look exactly like they did when they came by the start-finish line the first time. Still 2x2. Gabe Wood, small advantage on the inside, and almost contact for third. Looked like Trevicki Ricky pushed up a little bit, crowded DJ Beverly. Beverly went up the hill and was able to recover. We're going to go 3 wide for the race lead. The double over Gabe Wood. Slow that time out of turn 4. And all of a sudden, Will Dravicki going to go from fighting for 4th to the race lead in the blink of an eye. And we are not done yet. Randy Yoakum ends up P2. Gabe Wood going to cross him over and try to make it a challenge side by side for 2nd spot. But is only going to be able to get so far, I think. And it'll end up the 26 of Wilkinson 4th. And Beverly, the 42 car, I thought I saw that red 42 getting sideways, and that car snapped back up the hill in a huge hit. Nowhere for Ricky Harden's 15 machine to go, and he pulls right back up in front of him. And those 2 cars go for a ride. And when I say that these legends are wild, what you just saw there is kind of part of the reason why. When you find yourself in a precarious position in these legends cars, ending up on your lid just as such is not all too uncommon of a thing to happen. So pace car, I'm going to pull out on the back straight away, and Field is going to catch up to the pace car as we work under the first caution flag of the evening. Everybody, even DJ Beverly, still on track. After that one, I was kind of expected to look down and see the 42 behind the wall, but he is keeping that car on track. He is going come down to the pit lane, try to get that 42 machine service. Not sure how successful that may be. So I guess the good thing is, if you're flipping through the air, you're not bouncing off cars or walls. So it's one way to look at it. You dissipate the energy. But that car is pretty torn up. It should be able to continue if they want to get it touched up a little bit. He's not the only driver down pit road. Obviously, Ricky Harden is in. Harden decided to take the tow down to pit lane. So he is obviously going to have to serve X amount of time penalty, which means that he is going to sit down there for about a minute or so, I would expect. If that car can be repaired, he would be able to rejoin the race. He would just be a couple of laps down. But so often when you get involved in an accident like that, you just decide to put it on the hook. None of that really matters. So lights out on top of the base car, though. The cone car out. Nobody really mixing things up like we saw earlier in the mini stocks, where we saw Gabe Wood notably decide to not go outside of the front row. He tucked in line 3rd. That didn't necessarily work out for him, and it played in the advantage of Harden. We are basically doubled up 2x2x2, just as you would expect. So we'll see how this one plays out. It was a short sprint, lap 7 in the works of 25 so far from the Myrtle Beach Speedway, and it is once again going to be Will Dravicki up front trying to take this race over. But a nice move for the lead, and we're going to go green. Contact topside as Brandon Wilkinson wants to get things off the way. I think he's feeling the pressure from behind because the 26 machine has the 23 of Christian Peterson right there as well. Peterson, one of your bigger movers on the night already. But Dravicki up in front of the field right now, leads in front of Randy Yoakum, P2, and then a big gap back to where all the fun is. 2x2 by 2x2. 4 sets of 2x2, in fact, from 3rd position on back. Gabe Wood in the lead battle of this group, and kind of take a wider angle at this one and just look at how chaotic it is as some of these drivers try to find their way through. There's 3 wide in the back of it all with Tucker. Looks like the 8 machine is Slade, and I believe that's the 6er run, and that's going to be where there's problems. Slade sideways. He is going to save it. Did not have room, and I think that 8 machine cut down on Tucker, and the 8's the one that got sideways. We are going to stay green, though. No caution, and that kind of chops up some of the action behind. Although just as they say that, we go 3x3 again with the 07 Blake Neer for P5, and you can tell he's a little bit uncomfortable in the middle. They're just kind of lifting and backs out of it. In front of these guys, though, battle for the race lead. You got to keep your eyes on a swivel in these legends. Here comes Randy Yoakum trying to get what I think he feels back to where he deserves to be. Couldn't make it stick on the inside and 4 that time. And tucks back up in line. But remember, he started this race P2, and after, well, or I guess I should say when Dravicki passed him, he was fighting side by side for the race lead, which ended up being the outside of a 3 wide, and it kind of got shuffled back. So I think the 4 machines got speed in that car, Does he have Christian Peterson's speed, though? Talking about Wilkinson trailing Peterson in the championship. He started at 7 positions in front of him, but the 23 machine is up on the outside of the racetrack now, having passed Wilkinson, who runs back in P5. And Peterson is just so good in these Legends. 3 wins on the season in 4 starts. The only other driver to win a Legends car race besides the 23 is Wilkinson, and problems back in the pack. Caution flag is out. I think Blake Neer might be one of them. It looks like the 07 is turned around. Get a second look up at this one in a moment for you on the LSRTV replay. Blake Neer involved in an accident with the, I thought it was going to be the 19. The car driver tucked up behind him, I believe was the 13. It was. Jody Green was tucked up in line and made a move to the inside, and I think that one's just kind of a case of a block gone wrong. He went to the inside of the racetrack, and Blake Neer, I don't think necessarily came all the way down over the nose of Jody Green, but Jody Green wasn't about to lift and get bullied per se, and stayed in it. And Blake Neer is the driver who ends up going around after coming down on the 13 of Jody Green. Green holds his own, and well, that one wrote. The 07 did get tagged, so I think minor damage on Paul Henley, who also lost that car, spun around on the outside of turn number 2. But I think at the end of the day, especially with these Legends, they got those bars on all 4 sides of them. I think at the end of the day, things okay so far to this point. And again, if you're just getting in here with us, this is race 2 of 6 on week 13 of the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series. We've already had the mini stocks division out on track. Tommy Ryan took home the win in that one. Street stocks, the Chargers, the Super Trucks, which I think is the highlight of the night, and then the U-Cars division still to come right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. And mixing up the strategy this time, the 30 car Will Dravicki wants to go outside for the restart. Cruising the top line of the racetrack, you do see the 024 machine of Jeff Ryan scored in front of the race leaders. He is going to take his wave by now, and now we will see, as expected, I would say, Dravicki's up at the outside of the racetrack. Christian Peterson, will he be denied? Or is that force of nature just a little bit too much to overcome? We're going to find out. It could be. The final race starts on the night. Single-digit laps to go with 17 laps complete. Legends back green again. And Dravicki will clear for the race lead to turn 1. Critical move for him as we watch the fight behind for third. The 4 car of Randy Yoakum going to cut the inside of the 26 of Brandon Wilkinson. Wilkinson going to cross him over, go down to the inside. It is in the 26's best interest to be as close to Christian Peterson as possible. He does not want that 23 pulling away any more in the championship than they already are, but the battle for the race lead is on. Don't count out Randy Yoakum. P3, if something happens up front, Peterson sideways, that time at turn number 2, so he got a little bit out of shape, and he'll have to regroup. That's a big advantage for the 30 caution. Like the 73 of Brian Simpson. Well, the 90 of Jeremy Watkins. 2 cars involved, and looks like Watkins actually the innocent victim of this, but it was a 73, sorry, up into the outside wall. We've seen this a couple of times at Myrtle Beach, where that outside wall kind of hangs over the racetrack on the back straightaway, where I guess the best way to put it is the bottom of the wall is further away than the top of the wall. It's kind of leaning in a bit. So when you see somebody get up into the wall like that, it basically just sucks that car around, and that's exactly what happened to the 73 of Simpson there. I'm sure he knew he got up into the wall, but wasn't necessarily expecting. That might have been a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction. He saw the 8 pushing up on him, but Simpson ends up at the wall. There's nowhere for the cars behind him to go, and I didn't even notice David Messier because that car was gone by the time I got my eyes down to 3 and 4. The 58, as you saw on the replay, went up and over. He was the second car to come into that accident from behind, and the Legends cars tend to end up on their lid sometimes. That's half the fun. So unfortunately for those drivers, their nights come to an end. We get one more shot at this, and this might actually be good for Christian Peterson. Peterson was on the back bumper of Will Dravicki, coming to the about 2 laps to go out for the restart, coming out of turn number 4. Dravicki wants the outside, Peterson wants the inside, so we'll be right back to where we were last time, but Peterson got to the bumper, got sideways. It cost him about 4 or 5 car lengths. That could have been a workable gap for Will Dravicki. This time, Peterson's going to be right back alongside him as we come to a restart with 3 laps to go in the Legends feature. Again, Yoakum still there. Inside of row 2, third. Brandon Wilkinson is 4th. And Jody Green rounds out the top 5 with still 12 cars scored on the lead lap. Do we see a first-time winner in the Legends cars this season? Final time, maybe. The pace cars down and in. Green flag for the 30. Vicky get a pull, 2, now 3 car lengths to turn number 1. Peterson, though uncontested for 2nd, means that he could make a run up to the back bumper and try to make a play for the race lead here. The 4 Yoakum still there. Wilkinson challenged him on the restart. Did it work? And Peterson a lot faster that time in 4. Dravicki really overdrove it off of the corner. And we're going to go side by side for the race lead at 2 laps to go. Peterson slides high. Thought he was going to go for the slide job. Yoakum's there as well. Penultimate time to turn 3 with Peterson on the inside, Dravicki on the outside, and Yoakum tucked in behind the 23 machine. Maybe, no, it'll be the 30 of Dravicki. Small advantage. With less than 1 lap to go for the Myrtle Beach Speedway, the 30 is trying to stay high. Peterson catches a curve, and this fight is going to go all the way down to the final corner. Peterson on the bottom of the racetrack. Dravicki's going to have the speed, though. He'll try to wind it up. Going to be side by side, and I think it'll be Will Dravicki. Yes, sir. Barely hanging on for his first win this season in the Legends. Started this race in 3rd, got to the race lead early, and had to hold off the championship leader to get the job done. Will Dravicki with the Legends Division win. What a drive. The driver of that number 30 machine. Always fun when you get to see, a first-time winner per se. In a series, especially though in this Legends division. And Will Dravicki made limited starts this season in these cars, but when he has been here, he has been good. And this is a great result for him, which should even put him, I would think, just based on the fact that Richard Reagan Jr. not here with us this evening, I think Will Dravicki may now be challenging for a 4th, if not a 3rd. In the championship standings. We will try to get a word with him in a moment. In the meantime, as always, top to bottom, here's a look at your LSRTV full race results. Will Dravicki takes home the checkered flag tonight. First win for him in the Legends cars. Christian Peterson is going to gain in the championship. 2 spots for the Brandon Wilkinson. It is not a win, but it is a solid top 5 in P2 for the driver of the number 23 car. Randy Yoakum comes home 3rd tonight. Brandon Wilkinson is 4th, and Jody Green rounds out through your top 5. Tommy Ryan is P6. Matthew Tucker is 7th. Blake Adair is 8th position. Paul Henley 9th. And Jeff Ryan rounds through your top 10. Gabe Wood, final car on the lead lap in P11. He's able to wrap this one out for cars on the lead lap. Still a couple of drivers in this one. 1 lap down, P12 for David Messier as well. 13th position for Brian Simpson. Rafe Slate limps home 14th position. And then you got Jerry Watkins in P15. DJ Beverly 16th. Kyle Barnes to jump in this one. Ricky Harden, I think, is going to be technically the last driver scored in this, who ends up P17 by the time this one is all over. But that's a look top to bottom as far as scored cars, and a look at your LSRTV full race results. And we will now go trackside to chat with the driver of the 30, Will Dravicki, your winner tonight in the Legends division. Will, congratulations on the win. First for you in this series, and it was not an easy one. You had to go toe-to-toe with the championship leader, Christian Peterson, on a couple of late race restarts. Talk us through that fantastic battle that came all the way down to the end.
Oh man, I knew CP was going to be tough there at the end, so I went up high to try to keep him pinched down low, or use the top side of the track to my advantage, and I got fortunate. It worked out.
obviously we've only seen you 2 times before tonight, should clarify, in these Legends cars, and you know, you guys have been on a competitive basis, was able to get a top 5, and the one good result that you guys have had. So coming into tonight and starting in 3rd position, did you feel like you had an honest shot at battling for the race win in this one, or did it kind of end up circumstantially? Because we saw you up front early, and then you went to the very inside of the racetrack, forced some 3 wide, and very, I would say, spirited and aggressive move for the race lead, and at that point you really never looked back.
Well, yeah, I was really trying to hope to jump up to the lead there and get a little bit of time put on the rest of the field. I knew Wilkinson was behind me. I knew CP would be coming, so I wanted to get a little bit of a jump start on them and see what I can space out some time for myself and, you know, protect the lead.
With the limited starts, I think it'd be difficult for you to at least challenge for the complete championship in these cars, but to know that you're competitive in them, that you're able to race against guys like CP and everybody else, I know that's got to feel pretty good, and anytime you get a first win in a car, that's exciting. Yeah,
I've led a lot of laps in these cars. I'm always close, just like a runner-up for perpetually, so I'm glad I finally pulled one off.
Checkered flag for you, and we congratulate you on that one, although there is still plenty of racing to go this evening, so we will move on with the calendar. But before we do the sponsors and the shout-outs, anybody you want to say hi to from Victory Lane?
Yeah, I want to, first of all, thank my wife. You know, none of this is possible without her. My teammates at 09 Racing. Send a special shout-out to Brandon Wilkinson. He gave me a little extra motivation after his last win here. And Dominic Ebner at Pabst Blue Ribbon for sponsoring the car.
Legends Division winner tonight for the Myrtle Beach Speedway. Well, we appreciate the time. Congratulations on the win. Here's to many more exciting Legends Division races going forward this season. So best of luck moving on, but as well for the rest of the night.
Hey, thank you. I'll see you back in these races. Thank you for what you do. Hopefully we'll be back here sometime.
And I will always say that anytime we've got exciting battles up front, makes our job easier. So we appreciate the Will Javicki's of the world challenging the Christian Petersons and so on. And Will Javicki is your race winner tonight in the Legends cars. It is his first win in these cars on this 2018 season. So we'll take an opportunity once more to step aside, clear off the racetrack. The street stocks are next. If you want quintessential short track with a lot of fenders, that is what is next. This LSRTV's continuing coverage of the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series presented by the Championship Esports Association rolls on. It's week 13 on iRacing Live. Welcome back live to the Myrtle Beach Speedway. Third race on the night means that the sun has gone down and the lights have come on in week 13 of this Myrtle Beach Simulation Series presented by the Championship Esports Association. Happy that you're hanging with us at LSRTV, your home for sim racing and iRacing live. 2 down, 4 to go. 2 different winners so far to this point. Tommy Ryan with the win in the mini stock division, and then Will Dravicki just moments ago in the Legends. We head to the middle portion of the night and the straight stocks. Well, if you know, really for anybody, if you have an iRacing subscription, if you've raced on an oval, you've probably driven these street stocks, and you know they are a great combination here at this Myrtle Beach Speedway. This one should be an exciting one and one of the more competitive series as far as you know, not necessarily seeing one driver with more wins than one other specific. However, I should preface that we have had 8 races in this division, which is tied for the most out of any other one. And only 2 drivers have won. Jeremy Adams has 4, Matt Cucker has 4. But it is, I think, overall a little bit more of a competitive series, and we will see if maybe we see another first-time winner.
Yeah, you know, we saw first-time winner in the Legends race last race. I was driving the pace car for that race. That was a whole lot of fun. You know, I mean, Myrtle Beach is a competitive track already. It's a 2-groove racetrack, really. You have 2 really good grooves, especially in the street stocks. There's a lot of moving around in the street stocks already. So the street stocks are a really competitive car altogether. Then you throw in some of these drivers that are in here, a good group of drivers, and you throw in a good track like Myrtle Beach, you're going to have a really competitive race. Even though, like you said, there's only 2 different drivers to win races this year, you know, I think you may see another first-time winner tonight.
And cars are headed trackside. Let's introduce you to them and take a look top to bottom at your LSRTV starting grid. Pole position for this one goes to Randy Yoakum, the driver of the 4. Will bring us to the green flag tonight in this 30-lap division main event. Your Watkins shotgun front row starting in P2. Will Dravicki, could he go 2 for 2 on first-time wins this evening? He starts in 3rd position for this one with 4-time winner Jerry Adams 4th and 4-time winner Matt Cucker P5.
Start P6 tonight is the 10 of Jonathan Smith, excuse me. The 26 of Brandon Wilson is P7. P8 is going to be the 72 of Will Bloom. And Ricky Hart is going to be 9th place, and that's going to round out your 9-car field.
Waiting for the cars to roll off for the pit lane. That is your look top to bottom at your LSRTV starting grid. Tad bit longer race than what we saw in the Legends cars. 30 laps puts this one kind of right in the middle. The next 2 races for the Chargers and the Super Trucks will be 40 laps in distance. But I would think it's a little bit of a stretch hail to say that, you know, doing 30 laps instead of 25 makes this race much longer. It is essentially a sprint. You can't really hang back at all.
I mean, 30 laps is a sprint either way you look at it. It's like 25 is a sprint. The Legend car, it's a little bit longer, but I mean, these street stocks especially, 30 laps is going to the store and back when the store is 5 minutes away. I mean, this is what it is. It's pretty, what's the word? Tight race. You know, you're trying to get up through the field as fast as you can. I mean, it's like doing a 100-yard dash. I mean, you're just doing as fast as you can, trying to get as much time as you can, trying to get as many positions as you can, as quick as you can. So, I mean, that's what makes it exciting. That's what makes this Myrtle Beach series so exciting.
And I think even if we can go green for this one, it'll be pretty hard to kind of settle into a rhythm as well. It's got to be elbows up, top to bottom. Pace car is dropped down and away. And that number 4 car on the inside of the front row is going to be the first one to put the right foot down as we come to the green flag. And we go street stock racing. I think the 90. Jerry Watkins maybe had an edge at the line, and he missed turn 1, though. Completely missed it. He's into the fence.
And I just missed the restart. He missed a gear on the restart and just walled it right there. Seeing side by side for the lead right here. The 30 and the 4 coming at it. The 30 just dove it down into turn 3, side by side at the line.
You know, Dravicki's going to be feeling good. First Legends win on the year came just moments ago. Why not get his first straight stock win on the year? And when that 90 missed the corner, we saw Yoakum transition up to the outside of the racetrack. It gave Dravicki, who started inside row 2, that preferred positioning. And he is going to go to the race lead at lap number 2. He is hotly contested, though, by Matt Cucker behind. And Wilkinson and spinning behind Adams. Off of the outside and into the inside wall.
That was a huge wreck off of turn 4 right there. Over half the field got some amount of damage in that wreck. They got hit in some way.
And it started off, and it wasn't really, it was 3 wide, but it wasn't. You had that 4 of Yoakum, who just looked like he missed the corner, kind of like what we saw at the 90. The car was just not turning off, and the 89 machine, I think, was more so just trying to get away from him than forcing a 3 wide, because to me, that 4 was up and out of the groove. So the 89 tries to go and avoid him, and that 4 bounces off the wall ever so slightly, tagging Adams, who comes down. He spins across the nose of the 10. That's the car I was following, probably just because the 89 is so bright and yellow, but I think the yellow flag actually comes out for that spin for the 15 of Ricky Harden, who also just drove straight into the fence. I think he kind of followed the 4 in there. He's the only car that actually went all the way around, and it's probably why the flag actually came down from the tower.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. These guys are that's the same car. It's 2 cars hitting the same spot in the wall. I mean, the 4 and the 15 hit the same spot in the wall and just caused wrecks. The 4 got up out of the racing groove in 3 and 4 and came across the nose of the 89. The 89 just went right through the infield. Nothing he could really do right there. So really interested. That's 3 cars that have washed up the racetrack and up out of the groove.
So that has happened very early on. The Donnie was the most surprising one to me, because I thought, Watkins was going to have a legitimate opportunity to battle for the race lead, had a good shove on the restart. Maybe that hurt him because he did get quite the bump from Adams coming to the green flag. But unfortunately for that, he ends up at about 7th position by the time all of that runs out. So he have an opportunity, I think, for plenty of this one to keep on going. But tough break for Watkins, and of course, the likes of Adams and other drivers who were involved in this one. Interesting thing to note, 3 of the drivers who started inside of the top 4 are now running in the back 3 positions. Second place starter Watkins is 7th. They'll shuffle up a couple of spots as they go inside and out for the cone car, but all of a sudden, you don't expect to say this that quickly. So a tough break for those drivers. 30 laps is not a lot of time, but if people keep making mistakes up front, I think the door is going to be wide open. Will Dravicki went to the race lead on the inside of the racetrack, but he wants to restart on the outside of the racetrack. I think it's a dangerous game to allow Matt Cucker to your inside. The 30 machine is obviously going to want to clear him, but just how good of a restart he can get this time at turn number 4. Off and away, and it is a good one. Barely clearing the 69, but a dive to the inside as Cucker challenges for the race lead.
Cucker's going to dive it on in there. He has the inside. The 30 washes up the racetrack a little. The 30 is going backwards. The 69 is going to clear Dravicki down into turn 3, P1 for the 69.
And I said it there, I just don't think you can afford to give Cucker the inside of the racetrack, and I'm sure Will Dravicki regrets that decision to go outside on the cone car, and he's probably going to end up 3rd before this thing's done, because here comes Brandon Wilkinson. Wilkinson has been one of the emerging drivers to challenge the Cuckers and the Petersons, and hasn't had as much success in the street stocks as he has had in some other series, having very limited starts compared to some of the other drivers in the championship. He's never finished outside of the top 10. 9 cars on track tonight means he will be able to continue that streak, but looking to get another good result and trying to make the top 2 pull away a little bit as they put some distance on the 30.
Yeah, 26 Brandon Wilkinson staying with the 69 Matt Cucker right there. 30 Will Dravicki's falling back in the hands of Jeremy Adams right there. That car is not handling right. It's washing up. It's just not having a lot of fun behind them. Ward Bloom and Johnson Smith are fighting for that 4th position.
Side by side, they are for 4th spot. The 72 machine is on the outside of the racetrack, and Smith is the driver trying to come up. I think the inside has kind of shown itself as the place to be, and the 10 car of Smith is going to get P6 away from Rory Blum. And in front of them, side by side for 3rd, here comes Jeremy Adams. He'll also take a spot away from the 30 Will Dravicki. Again, Adams was very fortunate. Yes, he did spin, but he's the driver that spun to the inside of the racetrack. The wall's a good distance away compared to the drivers who spun topside and ended up in the outside wall. So Adams sustained no damage in that spin and has been able to quickly work his way back to the top 3. And in fact, now running higher than where he started.
Yeah, he's up on the wheel. He's trying to get as many positions as he can right now, and he's on it.
He's going to have to make up a second, though. Very similar situation to what we saw earlier tonight in the mini stocks, where that car in third does have speed, but by the time they get to third, they're about a second off of the race leaders. I'm not sure Adams is going to be able to get there, but how about a side-by-side fight up front? That could help slow the race leaders down. And Wilkinson is trying to fight, looking to the inside of the racetrack, flash the nose at least that time down in turns 3 and 4. Doesn't really able to, I think, establish full positioning. Battle for the race leaders. We saw the 26 dive to the inside. He was there. Cucker gave him space, but I don't think it was ever really a convincing thing. I think more just out of caution that Matt Cucker did not want to come down and chop the nose off the number 26, Machida Wilkinson. And again, if they do really get side by side and fight, it could be good news for Adams, but a second back to third is a comfortable gap for the top two, who will be halfway home this time by 15 down, 15 to go.
Yeah, halfway this time by. The 26 of Brandon Wilkinson has pulled himself back up to the rear bumper of the 69 of Matt Coker. I mean, I think he's just riding right there, biding his time. I don't know if he's got a faster car, but he's there, and he's there to stay. Jeremy Adams is just looking over it, hoping one of them makes a mistake right now.
There on the bumper in the battle for the race lead throughout the field. Still fighting going on. Fighting for 7th and 8th position. Jeremy Watkins is going to lose a position. Ricky Harden get a snag one back from Rory Blum. The Nanda machine is in that mix as well. But you have to keep your eyes up at the front of the field. I feel like the 26 almost trying to conserve a little bit. I know we said 30 laps isn't a lot of time. You can't really sit back, but I think just sitting on his bumper is not a terrible idea. Maybe force Cucker into a mistake. It would be a rare mistake out of the 69, who has been oh so good all season long, but we have seen a couple of drivers overdrive the corner a little bit and get in the fence, so nothing's impossible.
Nothing is possible. Even the best make mistakes each day. The 89 of Jeremy Adams is actually closing a little. I mean, he closed about a 10th that lap. I'd be interested to see what he's closed. He washed up a little bit at a 4, but the 26 of Brandon Wilkinson is just staying on the back bumper of the 69, just riding his bumper, trying to force him into a mistake, but I don't think in the next 10 laps that Matt Coker is going to make a mistake.
And if he doesn't make a mistake, well, we saw about this was the gap between Tommy Ron and Ricky Harden earlier tonight in the mini stocks division. They had a little bit of contact, to say the least, at a turn 4. These cars, I did say, if you like quintessential short track, these are them. Short track, purpose-built cars. A lot of sheet metal means that you can use that sheet metal if you want to really fight with somebody. Well, 26 is kind of lined up perfectly to go for the back bumper if it comes to that. I don't think Brandon Wilkinson, though, is going to make that kind of a move, Hale, at this point, because if you hit Cucker, you're inviting him to come back at you. He'll look to the inside. If he can, he'll go side by side and just get by him. But if it comes to it, oh, that's one way. Push up on the inside, and maybe not. Wilkinson bullies his way to the race lead. I don't think that he wanted to do that now, because Matt Cucker's got a nice view of the back bumper, and the 69's not going to appreciate that. 2 shots. I think the first 2 of many.
Yeah, wasn't very. That's a little bit too early on the 26 Brandon Wilkinson right there. He just washed up in the middle of the 3 and 4, but I don't think Matt Coker is going to accept that as an answer. And the 89 of Jeremy Adams is looking over this, smiling ear to ear right now. They contacted in turn 1, sideways, both of them. The 89 of Jeremy Adams caught them like it was nothing, side by side for the race lead.
Fighting up front has brought the 89 into the picture, but Matt Cucker wants some payback, and the 26 is running away from him, and Matt Cucker gonna go back to the race lead at lap 23, and Jeremy Adams is going to follow him, and that's why I was saying that Wilkinson's probably not gonna rough up the 69, and I don't know if he meant to hit him when he was on the inside. The good old Chase Elliott on Brad Keselowski move, dive to the inside and move him up and out of the way, or if it was just accidental contact, because I think that once you hit Matt Cucker, you're going to get hit back, and 9 laps to go in the race to do that, I think, just left the door far too open, and now maybe neither of these drivers are going to be able to get back to him. They're too busy fighting for second.
Yeah, from 26 going to move the bumper to 89. He's going to go to the inside wall. Caution will be out on the Speedway. The 89 backs it in the turn 4 wall. The 89 threw the block on 26 of Brandon Wilkinson, and Brandon Wilkinson said, no, sir. Right there, and just jacked up the 89 into 3 and spun him around. I was about to say, you were talking about Matt Cucker is definitely going to give you the bumper back from racing Matt. He's gonna, if you move him, he's gonna come back and move you, but he's not gonna wreck you, and that's what he did to Brandon Wilson right there, and that's why that wreck happened.
We'll keep it with the Martinsville analogies. We saw the 26 machine put the Chase Elliott on the 60 machine to Keselowski, if you will, and 26 is non-discriminatory. He also wanted to take the Denny Hamlin route of moving cars out of the way, and 89 machine out that time in turn number 3. I would keep an eye out if Jeremy Adams can get back to you, because again, I don't know that Wilkinson is definitely somebody who's not going to back away from these kind of things, but the guys that he's roughing up are the guys who are first and second in the championship and have all the wins. So, you know, they don't get to be that good in this series by getting roughed up.
No, you're not going to rough up these boys in a street stock series. When you're one of the outliers, this is not how it's going to work. Brandon Wilson really should have waited, rode on the back bumper of the 69, and in my opinion, just should have rode behind him and waited. And when you did go to pass him, don't door him, because you're going to get some payback. And even if somebody blocks you down in a corner, if the guy has 4 wins on the season, don't wreck him. Just don't do it.
And by the way, this race is not over yet, because we're going to have a restart with the pace car down at in this time, with just 2 laps to go to determine a straight stock winner for week number 13. Cucker on the outside of the racetrack. Will Dravicki is back in a position to fight for this on the inside line. Jonathan Smith, race high P3. Ricky Harden is back up to 4th. Let's see what happens as we go around just 2 more times. Is Will Dravicki trying to go for another winner? Is Matt Cucker going to get win number 5? They meet again. Green flag, 2 to go. Great jump for the 69.
69 Mike Cucker got a great jump down in turn 1. He's going to be clear all around for 2 laps. 38 Will Dravicki and the 15 of Ricky Harden are going to go at it. The 30 is going to clear the 15. There's 1, 2, 3.
30 machine, I think, trying to guesstimate that start, went too early, checked it up. Cucker went when he was on the brakes, and that's exactly what a championship caliber driver will do when he is in control of a restart. White flag for the Myrtle Beach Speedway for the driver, the number 69 machine up in front. 5 to go, rather, for the driver, the 69, sorry, as he continues to try to stretch this thing out. No, it is white flag. I'm reading the wrong numbers for the 69. He is way out in front. There's going to be a challenge from behind, but Matt Cucker does take advantage of that 2 to go restart. And how about that? Just 2 times around the racetrack, he wins this by a second. So Matt Cucker had to fight all night, but it mattered the most. He put it to him.
Yeah, I mean, he got a good restart right there. He got an excellent restart on the outside. Didn't push up like most of these drivers we've saw, because he could get clear down into 1 and just pulled it away. What hurt Will Dravicki right there. He tried to guess the restart, and Cucker caught him sleeping.
Always fun to get words with drivers post-race, especially, though, after a race in which there was a little bit of rough 'em and tough 'em. So we'll see what the driver of the 60 machine has to say post-race about this one in a moment. Before we head down as he parks it in Victory Lane, we look top to bottom at your LSRTV full race results. Matt Cucker, 2 lap to go restart, did exactly what he needed to do, and he is your street stock winner, 5th one on the season for him. And what that means is he will be able to grow his championship lead headed into the 2018 side of the championship calendar. Will Dravicki, another great run, though, for him. He's having a great night at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. He gets P2 in this one. Ricky Harden's going to be 3rd, with Jeremy Adams in 4th, and Jonathan Smith rounds out the top 5.
Coming at 6th tonight, Brandon Wilson just roughed up too many drivers and ended up 6th, where you could have ended up top 3. You know, that's his decision, though. It's a good night still, top 10. Randy Elcom's going to finish P8. Excuse me, I skipped a car. We're Bloom in the 72. Picked up a position in the race. He finished 7th, started 8th tonight. Still a good night for him. And that'll be all the cars, I think.
We'll look top to bottom at the street stocks in this one. One driver finished in front of the other ones, and that was Matt Cucker. We are trackside with him. And Matt, congratulations on this one. He came into tonight 2nd in the championship. I know that's a position that you're not very used to being in, but 4 wins in these cars. No doubt that you're comfortable in them. This one was very spirited, though. Brandon Wilkinson was there with you, and to be honest, we were saying, well, he probably shouldn't have hit you and give you an opportunity to hit him back. And he went up the inside, pushed you out of the groove, and you returned the favor on a route to the win. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, I tried a different setup tonight, and it was nowhere near what I normally run. I tried something different that I tried in week 13 last week for iRacing, and it was just no good. It was way too tight. I thought it was going to be really good, but it was just junk and too tight. And I mean, he was faster than me, but he could have got by me clean. And then when he doored me, I don't know what happened. He just slid way up the track and just doored me. And I can race that way too. I don't like to, but I can race that way too. And fortunately, I had to do that tonight.
At the end of the day, it's short track racing, and I think that you have to expect a certain amount of contact. And, you know, for you guys in these races being competitive, and I think we've now finally gotten to the point where, you know, we're deep enough in the season that we're getting a better kind of look at the championship. You and Jeremy and even Jonathan Smith hasn't been all that far off you guys in this series, but for you guys not being able to make all the starts, to be able to be competitive when you're here, and I think if I'm reading the stats correctly, top 5 every single time. I'm not sure there's much else that you guys can do. Stick it in this one all the way to the end, but I know it's got to feel good to get wins, and you kind of break that tie for Jeremy in the meantime while he has that small championship lead now with your 5th.
Yeah, that's the main thing. I gotta freaking try and catch him with me missing, I think, 1 start, and it was a double feature night or something like that. It's just all about trying to catch him the rest of the way. And I mean, when he's running like really close to me, it's hard to do. But I mean, unfortunately, he got taken out tonight. But I think he still got 4th or something. So it's not much of a gainer, but it's a little bit, and that's all we got to keep doing to crack away at it by the end of the season.
We're going to have a couple of weeks off here before we head to the 2018 side of the calendar. How do you guys feel like you have been on this side of the year? And is there any changes that you guys have to make going forward as far as, we have plenty of opportunities to chat with you. You guys kind of mess around with the setups. Is it going to be a little bit less experimental as we get into those closing weeks, or is that always going to be an ever-evolving thing?
I mean, I'm always trying different stuff whenever we go out on track. I just wasn't predicting the weather right tonight, and I just didn't loosen it up enough. I actually tightened it up before we went out, and that's what hurt me. So, I mean, we're always trying to go faster, trying to experiment little stuff here and there, and we're going to keep trying to do it the rest of the season. But if we have to start falling back on it, we start losing by a lot of time there on the track, then we'll have to revert back to the old setup that I know is fast, and we'll have to go from there.
Chargers going to be coming up next. That is a series in which you lead the championship in on top of Jerry Adams. So the saga continues. We'll let you hop in that one. As always, the Matt, before we do the sponsors and the shout-outs, who gets it done?
I got to thank Team Vincier, Globalcom. You guys for broadcasting, I Analyze, and Kyle Barnes for putting the show on. I know he wants to get going so we can get this Chargers race underway.
Let you go get strapped in, Matt. We appreciate the time. Congratulations, as always, and best of luck.
Thank you.
That's your race winner tonight in our 3rd of the evening, the Street Stocks, and he is going to be competing in the Chargers as well. That race is going to be updated only 25 laps in the Chargers division upcoming. We will step aside so we can get those cars on track. Back in a moment to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You're watching the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series presented by the Championship Esports Association on LSRTV, your home for sim racing. Welcome back live to the Myrtle Beach Speedway as tonight's action rolls on. Big cars coming up next with the Chargers division on the racetrack at the moment with the super trucks.
As soon as we get back in here, let me know. What the hell? What?
And this race is going to be 25 laps of total distance as we welcome you back into the LSRTV booth. Evan Fasoko, William Hale, Trevor Valderrama with you. And these Chargers are again another fun one. They may look simply like, late models, the Monte Carlos, but these things, Trevor, heavily modified, which makes them a handful to drive.
These definitely are a lot heavier, so you're going to be seeing guys struggling with handling all night long. It's always a fantastic night when these guys are on the track, so you got to watch these guys. It's going to be great racing. You have Matt Cucker at the top of the point standings, and then right behind him is Jeremy Adams, so got to be watching for them two to go at it. They're only separated by 3 points, and so it's going to be exciting the whole entire night.
Again, because we do go from 40 laps, which is originally on the schedule, to the updated number, we were slipped tail of just 25 laps. You go back into the conversation of the legends, where yes, 40 laps is still short, but 25 laps is really, really short.
25 laps in these challengers, short. You're not going to have a lot of time to really do anything. You gotta get up. You gotta get a momentum. These cars are a lot of momentum and a lot of drive, and you're just going to have to get up as quick as you can. You're going to have to take no prisoners. You're going to have to get up to the field as fast as you can, especially if you're somebody like a Matt Coker that's starting 5th. You're leading the championship and you're starting 5th. You're going to have to get up on the wheel, and you're going to have to get past these guys ahead of you as quick as you can. You're going to have to pass at least one car every 2-3 laps to win this race.
What I also noted, we saw, obviously, when we chatted with Matt talking about the championship, how he's trailing Jeremy Adams in those, other divisions. He is leading in tonight, but only by 3 points in the championship as Matt Cucker first and Jeremy Adams in second position. So this is going to be a fun one tonight as well for the rest of the year. Let's take a look at how they'll start this one. Go trackside and take a look at your LSRTV starting grid. It is pole position for the 90 Chevrolet of Jeremy Watkins, who will start up front, and then Jeremy Adams in P2. Race Slate starts third tonight. Will Trevicki in fourth, and where Matt Cucker sits in P5 means we start this race with a tie in the championship.
Yeah, Ricky Harden in the 15 car is going to be 6th. Jody Green in the 13 is going to be 7th. And rounding out your 8-car field for the night is going to be Gabriel Wood, that 00 Pink Breast Cancer Awareness car.
Let's look top to bottom 8 cars in this Chargers division main event. Still to come, super trucks and U-Cars, which is going to be a fun way to cap out the evening. But the focus right now is with these Chargers on track. Race winners in these cars this season. This is the 9th time we will see these cars. Matt Cucker has 6 wins. Jeremy Adams has 1. Rafe Slate has 1. But I should note that Matt Cucker has only started 6 races, still leading the championship compared to the likes of Jeremy Adams, who has started all 8. But Matt Cucker has never started a Chargers race this year that has not ended with him in victory lane, and he will have to do it from the middle of pack here tonight on week number 13. How is this one going to go? The green top to bottom, a lot of yellows, a lot of restarts. We're going to find out. The pace car is down and in. And can Jeremy Watkins maybe pull one out? He comes into tonight 15th in the championship. Just looking for the first top 5 on his year as we go green. Great start for he and Rafe Slate, who jumps from 3rd to 2nd.
Great start for Jeremy Watkins, that number 90 machine, but the 8 of Rafe Slate knocking on his back bumper, so we'll have to watch for that. But you see the number 89 of Jeremy Adams up top side. You see the 90 back up, moving up to the top, to that preferred lane. You see that line dominating all night long, so Rafe is going to have to move along. But the 69 of Matt Cucker already up till 2nd position. What a move he's got for the first few laps, Evan.
Yeah, Watkins just bombed the corner second time tonight. He has really struggled in 1 and 2, and he's going to really struggle again in 3 and 4. We talk about how hard they are to drive, and spinning on the inside is Will Dravicki. He will go all the way around and straighten it out. So this race, I think, is going to stay green. And the battle up front now becomes the top 3 all drivers who have won this year. Slate P1, Cucker P2, and Adams in 3rd, but the 69 charging hard.
69 car is now diving to the inside. Turn 1 for P1. Is he going to clear him by turn 2?
Caution.
Yellow is out on the Speedway. 69 did not get by the 8 ref Slate, and that is a blessing for the 8 car after the 69 was on a rail right on his back door, about to clear going into turn 3.
Very forgettable 3 laps for the 90 machine of Jeremy Watkins. Starts on a pole, ends it by spinning in the back of the pack as 8th out of 8 cars on track. And the yellow flag was timed just as such to keep Rafe Slate in front, which is great news for the 8 car because Trevor Matt Cucker was, after the yellow, pulling off for the corner on him, probably going to get the position.
Yeah, absolutely. Rafe Slate with the breather right now. The number 90 machine was handling so hard, and you know these things are not as they seem. They are not just late models. They are weighed down late models. They are so much more heavier, so much harder to control. So you've already seen 2 cars go around. That was Will Dravicki and Jeremy Watkins. 13 also got up into the mix when the 30 car went around, but you know you already see people struggling with these cars. So how are they going to deal with it?
Restart's going to come in about a lap or 2 here. Again, not a lot of this race gone by, but the yellow flag coming out at the, it was lap 3 for Watkins when he spun. I guess technically your race leaders, though, were working on lap number 4. So they were, you know, a little bit further on into this one. It's going to be Slate, Cucker, and Adams. I think the big thing to watch for this one is that we saw the fantastic start that Slate got, going from 3rd to 2nd up by the inside of the racetrack, and never mind, because as we see the drivers line up, the 89 of Adams wants topside. I was going to suggest watch for the 89 car to come up the inside of the racetrack. He feels like the outside is the preferred lane. This gives an opportunity for Gabe Wood, who is actually scored in 5th position, to line up in what would conventionally be considered 3rd on the inside of row 2. So we'll see how they figure this one out. 7 laps down at 25 in the Chargers. Slate going to be hotly contested up front, and he needs to get out, and he needs to get away from the 69 car of Matt Cucker. Green flag in the air. It is a jump for the 8 car, but not by much.
Cut does not get that big of a jump. 69 going to settle in nice and tight. There in P2, excuse me, is the 00 Gabriel Wood trying to go for P3 right there. Gets loose and falls back. The 89 of Jeremy Adams is going to take that P3, excuse me. 69 of Matt Coker gets loose at a turn 4 for P2. Battle for P2 right now.
69 has got the preferred spot back. It's going to be tough for the 89 of Adams to fight back topside. Harden sideways on the outside of the battle behind them. Means Gabewood is going to get back to P4. Harden is going to fall back to 5th, although that fight not done as they look to cross each other over. The 15 too loose to be able to get the job done. And yes, Matt Cucker's probably got the fastest car on track, but the longer Jeremy Adams holds him, the further away the 8 of Rafe Slate can get.
Watching that double O keep on going into each corner. He's getting looser and looser as the track goes on, or as the race goes on. But the number 69 and 89, that's Cucker and Adam, keep on battling it door to door. Now Cucker getting in front of Adams a little bit more. Going in turn 1, 89 gets a little bit loose, able to save it. That gives Cucker a free position and able to set sail on that number 8 machine of Rafe Slate. So we'll have to watch for him, as well as the number 89 is he's falling back a little bit more. The 15 now sideways. These cars are all kinds of sideways. 13 to the back bumper of that number 15 machine now, Evan.
It doesn't help when someone's pushing you either in that 13 machine. Jody Green was sending the 15 off into the corner, I think in his own way, trying to get clear of Will Dravicki in the 30, who's there on the inside. And what right now is a side-by-side fight for P6. And yes, they are fighting, and it's a good one. But the intervals up front are getting shorter and shorter. Past halfway, guys. Here comes Matt Cucker within a car length and a half at lap 13.
Matt Coker is there again. He's on the 8's bumper. The 8 slips a little bit out of turn 4. Is going to allow the 69 to get right on the bumper going into turn 1, side by side. 69 is going to get a big arc and try to come under the 8 car off the corner exit of 2. No, he's not. The 69 gets loose off of 2.
We're on battle continues, and for the 69, you know, you want to push a little bit extra. That car's going to step out on you. The 8 wants to put a little bit extra. The car will step out on him. Cucker, first time tonight leading at the start-finish line. It's not done yet, though. Slate on the inside, going to try to fight back, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it stick. Cucker is in a great position if he can keep that car underneath him.
Absolutely. You see each driver battling so hard. You see the number 8 of Rafe Slate get loose again. Cucker now running away with it. We'll have to watch to see how he handles these next few turns, to see if he pushes it a little bit more to try and get some separation, or if he's just going to, you know, just ride it out and try to make each lap count for him. So now we're seeing a little bit of a gap pull between them, but that number 8 machine is not giving up yet.
Double Gaywood spun. He was running in third position. It was at a turn 2. There was small contact. No, I think it was going to be on his own. So no yellow. We stay green. I thought maybe Jeremy Adams was involved in it, but it didn't look like they got together. So no caution, and we are still green. And Slate, give credit to him. Hale, he's sticking with them. I think overdrove it a little bit too much there in 4, and that would have been the final nail on the coffin. It's hard to get 3-4 car lengths back from Cucker if you're going to give them to him like that for free. Slate, though, still doing his best. Noticeably lower line than what the 69's taken.
Both these cars are a handful right now. The 69 is pushing up, washing up in the middle of the corner. The 8 about loops it. Slate saves it off, and I think that's going to definitely put the nail in the coffin for the 8 car, is we don't have that many laps left, and the 69 is still fast enough to pull away.
And now he's really opened this one up to the point where I think if we don't get a yellow here late, and the only battle on track I'm seeing is still for 5th. Jody Green has not had an opportunity to take a deep breath all night long, trying to play defense against Ricky Harden, who runs exactly where he started in the Brian Ramey machine, but wants to pick up one. They fight for 5th and 6th. That's a fight about 5 seconds off the battle for the race lead, and into the outside wall is Will Dravicki. Dravicki was running in P4. He got sideways on quarter entry and snapped it up into the wall. Heavy damage, and his night is done. No caution, though.
Yeah, we also see the double O of Gabriel Wood pull into the pit lane, so his night is done as well. But back up to Jody Green and Ricky Harden. You got a little bit of separation between them, but now the number 15 machine of Harden has got to try and battle back and get back to Jody Green so he can put more pressure on the number 13 machine. But, you know, this race coming down from 40 laps now to 25 laps has messed with the driver's mental mindset, as you can probably see. You know, these drivers just pushing it a little bit harder now than what they would have been doing if it were 40 laps. So, you know, to have that quick change has got to be hard on these drivers, and know that you do not have a lot of time in these machines to, you know, get something happening. So now we're coming to 2 to go.
And I think the beauty in the way these cars drive is with the modifications on them. Yes, they're very loose, but you really have to walk that fine line. If you're not pushing it, you're just not going to be fast. That's why we've even seen the likes of Matt Cucker struggle at times, getting sideways. Nobody's really immune to this one, but this time by the white flag is going to be in the air, and I think the 69 with a 1.3 second advantage has enough of a gap to be able, you know, to work this thing, to not, you know, force the issue, and to take it comfortably. Final time to corners number 1 and 2. Going to be big for him, but a championship. Only a couple of spots are for the Jeremy Adams, but this is going to be in his 7th Chargers Division start on the year. His 7th Chargers Division win. Coming out of turn number 4, checkered flag in the week 13 win to Matt Cucker. First 2-time winner this evening.
Matt Cucker's 2 for 2. In the street stocks and in the challenger divisions. I mean, that's momentum. You know, he won the last race, comes into this race, starts P5, is up and battling for P1 within 3-4 laps. That's momentum and skill right there by Matt's part, and that's good racing.
He's got the new colors on board. We're used to seeing that car with a lot of green on him and the red. is sporting him pretty good tonight, and he gets his second win on the year. This one, I think, well, yes, we did see the fighting up front, Trevin, a little bit more calm for him than the last one. Not as much beating and banging. The car more or less still looks clean this time.
Absolutely, it does. You know, he got a major run coming into lap number 2, I believe it was, because the number 90 machine of Jeremy Watkins had slipped up a little bit from his pole position start, and that just opened up the door for Matt Cucker, to wiggle his way through all the 4 cars that were in front of him and make quick work of Rafe Slate and able to pull back into the lead and run away with this one.
The race winner tonight in the Chargers. We'll chat with him again in just a moment. First, as always, a recap of the action top to bottom and your LSRTV full race results. Matt Cucker starts mid pack, but he's able to get his 7th Chargers win on the year. Up at the front of the field, he beats Rafe Slate to the tune of 1.6 seconds, who comes home second. Jeremy Adams is third, Ricky Hart in fourth, and Jody Green P5.
P6 goes to the number 90 machine of Jeremy Watkins. P7 will go to Will Javicki. He retired his car as well, did the last place finisher of Gabriel Wood.
So look top to bottom, let's go trackside and chat with the driver of the number 60 Donna machine for Matt Cucker. Another win on week 13 of this Myrtle Beach Simulation Series. Matt, congratulations. Again, feels like we were just chatting with you down here in Victory Lane. Street stocks went out of the way. This Chargers division, yes, it started out aggressive and we had good fighting up front, but by the end of this one, you guys were able to pull some distance and get your 7th win in 7 starts. Pretty good stat.
Yeah, I mean, I really thought Rafe was going to have to walk away with this one. I burned off the right rear. I got real loose one corner there, and it just felt like the right rear was gone after that, and Jeremy was on my outside, and I don't know if we net coded it or something and sent him, but that sucks. But, I mean, I really thought Rafe was going to have something at the end there and be able to pass me, or at least hold me off, but I think he wore off his right rear a little bit more than I wore mine off. I just had to cool mine back down in order to catch him.
And we know that the way that these the Monte Carlos are modified for this Chargers division, it makes them a handful, and we see even you and Jeremy struggling with them. And I haven't driven them, so I can't accurately speak to it. So I'll pose the question to you. If you see somebody getting loose, the first thing you would think of is back off. But it appears, at least in these cars, that you kind of have to be really, really on that edge to be fast. Where if you back it off and you're not getting loose, then you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, you pretty much have to drive it in hard, get the car to roll over on the right side, and if you get back on the gas after you let off the brake, you're going to get loose. So you pretty much have to 2-foot it, gas and brake at the same time, and then you slowly let off the brake, and then you can flat out, and the car will stay under you. But if you don't do that and you miss your corner a little bit and you tap the brake and then you let off and then start hitting the gas again, you will get loose, and that's unfortunately what I did. And I thought the right rear was going to be going again, but these cars are a handful. They're really tricky. It's a lot of gas and brake play, but they're fun to drive.
Obviously, getting back-to-back wins has to feel pretty good, and both in critical championship fights. This one, a very tight championship fight, and kind of same story than what we talked over the straight stocks. You missed a week or two, and you end up with less starts, but still right there. Jeremy, kind of same scenario as the last race, right there with you, only a couple of spots behind. This time, you're able to grow the championship lead by a tad bit. Aside from him, though, as you guys have a good, hold, I think, at this point on the championship, what were some of the other guys that you maybe noticed there that at this point in the season maybe too far behind to fight for the trophy at the end of the season, but have kind of been improving and learning these cars that are challenging you guys more on a weekly basis?
Yeah, I mean, like Rafe this week, he was up there. I know he won a race when I wasn't here, and him and Jeremy are pretty quick, but it's seat time and trying to get it right. And the more you drive the Charger series, the better off you are on the other cars, because the Chargers, I think, are the loosest cars you're going to drive in this Myrtle Beach Simulation Series. They're the loosest I've ever drove here, and I think with the seat time in them, it helps with the other cars if they ever get loose.
You guys are going to be looking for the championship in these cars. No doubt you're able to defend that championship again here this evening. Back-to-back wins. First driver to take 2 pieces of hardware on the evening. You guys are feeling pretty good. The sponsors and the shout-outs, as always, who makes it happen.
I thank Team Vincier again, GlobalCom, I Analyze, you guys again, and Kyle Barnes for putting the show on.
hopefully we'll be able to talk to you again soon.
The race winner looking for more hardware, but 2 on the night. He wins in the Chargers division. Matt, we appreciate the time as always. Congratulations again, and maybe we'll chat again soon.
Alrighty, thank you.
Matt Cucker gets the win. He snaps the streak of individual race winners, winning in the street stocks and the Chargers. Impressive numbers when you look at the fact that these last 2 wins, his 5th and his 7th in each respective series. We're on the downhill side of things now as the night works on. Super Trucks and the U-Cars coming up next for the Myrtle Beach Speedway. You watching LSRTV and iRacing Live. And back live from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The night rolls on. Week 13 of the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series presented by the Championship Esports Association. Coverage on LSRTV, your home for sim racing, is brought to you as always by Joel Real Timing, the official timing software of LSRTV. Whether you spend your time on the sim behind the wheel, on top of the pit box, or from the spotter stand, JRT is your go-to software for iRacing timing and scoring analytics. You can get yourself a basic download or the full pro version online at joel-real-timing.com for more information. Official timing software of LSRTV. The night rolls on, and the biggest cars of the evening, Trevin, now trackside as the Super Trucks division makes another start here on the series. And it feels like that we don't often get to see these cars. In reality, this is going to be the 9th race. In fact, going to be the 10th race for the Super Trucks on the year. So we have been seeing plenty of them, and maybe I always just feel like we don't see them enough because I love seeing them so much. Super Trucks, they are huge. They are not really designed for small tracks like this, and that is what makes them so fun.
These trucks are absolutely so much fun to watch. They can make more contact than others, and they got the longest race on the night. 40 laps here tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway. It's going to be a great race to watch tonight, and I'm just so excited. I'm just excited as you are. I love watching these guys every time they're out, and it's just going to be awesome to see.
And this one is going to remain at its 40-lap distance, the number that we got at the start of the night, still the number that is going to be the case. So it is going to be the longest race of the evening. Again, the night will end with the U-Cars division as always for the Super Trucks. And to be fair, yes, U-Cars is for points. I don't want to discredit it at all, considering how much fun and the outlier it is. But the Super Trucks, I think, with the absence of the late models, is the race of the night. Here's how they will line up. We take a look top to bottom at your LSRTV starting grid. Randy Yoakum starts up at the front of the field. Number 4 car will start from pole. Yoakum will be joined by Matt Cucker on the front row. DJ Beverly going to start tonight in 3rd position inside of row 2. Outside him, Ricky Harding starts 4th. Teammate behind him, P5, is Tommy Ryan.
Gabriel Wood will be starting P6, Matthew Tucker P7, Jeremy Watkins P8, Brandon Wilkinson P9, and your championship leader rounds out the top 10. That's Christian Peterson and Jody Green rounding out your field, starting 11th.
Look top to bottom as the field rolls now down to turns number 1 and 2. Big trucks and big time action. Coming into tonight in the Super Trucks, Christian Peterson is your championship leader. He has a big gap, 81 points over Ricky Harding to run second in the championship. Dwight Beverly is 3rd, with James Krahula and Gabe Wood inside of the top 5. The reason it is such a big gap is because, well, we have Tommy Ryan 7th in the points with 1 win. You've got James Krahula, 4th in the points with 1 win, and Christian Peterson with 7 wins in the Super Trucks. Now, that number was just matched by Matt Cucker for most in an individual series. Cucker got his 7th win in the Chargers, so I guess there is a little bit of a challenge, even though they don't directly correlate, for Peterson to keep pumping those numbers. But as Trevin, you said, he's outside row 5, way in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. Christian Peterson has always been on a rail in these trucks, so you got to watch for him to battle all the way from 10th to the point. So we'll have to watch for that tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway coming to Green, Evan.
Longest race of the night as well. That gives him ample opportunity. How aggressive are drivers going to be out of the gate, or do we see anybody pace themselves? Over the course of the longest race of the evening, the pace car's off and away, and we are Super Trucks racing from Myrtle Beach. Green flag, and look at Matt Cucker. What a run to turns 1 and 2. Both he and Ricky Harding get a jump to the top spots. What a move.
Cucker trying to make it 3 wins for the night as of right now, but now you have the 00 and the number 6 battling it out. The 00 of Wood is going to fall back a little bit, but he's also going to battle back on that outside. You have 4 cars battling for position. That's for position 5. Now the Gabriel Wood is into the outside wall, and the number 6 of Ryan will be able to pull away a little bit more, but 23 of Christian Peterson going 3 wide, coming out of turn 4 onto the front stretch into turn 1, able to clear the 43 of Tucker, now going up and almost hitting Wood, now 42 out of the line. That's DJ Beverly, now Christian Peterson sideways. This is absolutely chaos.
Bouncing off each other mid-pack, the 23 machine of bumper cars in a fight for P6. He will get up by Gabe Wood, though, however unconventional it was, effective at the end of the day. So Peterson up to 6th, trying to continue his march to the front, and he will already pick up an X-target to the back, to the inside, and trying to get by DJ Beverly in a fight for 5th, but spinning behind him. Gabe Wood is sideways. He will save it. No caution.
That was a great save by Wood. Now the battle up for 4th position, or excuse me, 3rd position. That's between Cucker and Ryan. So we'll see how these 2 lines will work out for both these drivers. Ryan on the low side, Cucker on the top side. Also, now lurking in the background, P number 5, that's Christian Peterson, but looking back up, Tommy Ryan gets a little nose in front, coming out of turn 2. Now Cucker close to the wall, now side by side, coming into turns 3. Ryan trying to get past the number 69. He's got that number 4 machine to work with in front of him, but he's going to fall in line right behind him, trying to get a handle on his car on that inside line, very close to making contact with that number 69.
That's a part of it, is walking that thin line. Different context in the Chargers earlier tonight, but you have to be up and on the wheel. And basically, these cars, the Super Trucks, yes, they're NASCAR Camping World Truck Series cars, on a Myrtle Beach Speedway that clocks in, you know, at just barely over half a mile in distance. So it's what makes him so fun. And you have a big group of cars here. Ricky Harden's 9/10 of a second in front, but then you got Yoakum, who's sideways. He will save it, but here come the floodgates. The number 69 is going to get by, and now Cocker's going to spin. He overdrives the corner, and he is going to go around, and there is now a caution flag with Christian Peterson up to P3.
That was absolutely going to happen. I could just see the intensity building up in this pack, and that the inevitable did happen, and that was just absolutely insane. That brings out our first caution and brings Christian Peterson to P3. So big break for him, going all the way from 10th to 3rd position in 9 laps. How is he going to handle the rest of these laps?
And it started with Yoakum, who got sideways out of 4. Cocker, I think, saw the charge coming, wanted to drive it in hard. Then he got sideways into turn 1, and it was Ryan and Peterson who slid up the inside of the racetrack. Yoakum spun out as well, flipped over after getting into the interior pit road wall. That car is turtled on the back straightaway, so a whole lot goes down. And this is a completely different complexion to the top 5 than it was moments ago. Harden, yes, still your race leader. A lot due in part to the great start that he had. But Tommy Ryan now P2. Christian Peterson a little bit lucky, a lot of bit fast in that exchange. Has him now more than halfway to the front, only a quarter of the way through. So that's huge for the 23.
Absolutely, it is huge for him, you know, wanting to keep that championship up for him, you know, coming into the 2018 side of things. So that's always going to be a little boost morale for him if he can pull it off, you know, coming all the way from the back of the pack to the point. He's got Tommy Ryan and Ricky Harden to go through. So, you know, it's going to be a little tough because these guys always put on a great fight, but he has a lot of laps to work with. So, you know, running a different line, keeping their mirrors full of the number 23 machine, and maybe forcing them into a issue or a mistake will help them. Will help him be able to go back to the point.
He's going to be inside for the restart, at least if that last go at it was any indication. I guess I should say inside for the restart if that's where he chooses to be, but he is down there. It at least looked like on that first one, and again, it could be a little bit of tire spin. It could also be a combination of that and, you know, leap it on the start, someone a little bit too antsy, and that's why we did not see the inside go at all. And second went to first, and fourth went to second. But I think the outside might not be a terrible place to be. Drivers are going to be able to choose which lane they want this time. But the cone car, the 50 to Harden in control, wants the bottom. Ron wants up top. Peterson's going to go to the inside and out, inside and out. So really nothing to note there inside of the top 5. So now let's watch Harden. He went to the race lead because the guys on the inside couldn't get going. Now he's on the inside. We'll find out if that was a little bit of dumb luck early or if the outside's really the better place to be. Tommy Ryan is very capable topside. If he has any sort of an opening, he'll definitely be able to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Coming to the restart now, coming into turns 3 and 4, we're going to have to watch these guys. You know, Christian Peterson went 3 wide before. Will he do it again?
Find out. He's got plenty of time to go, though. Third place with now 26 to go. No rush. Side by side for the race lead, though. Peterson going to win out the battle for third. No big challenge for Matthew Tucker for that position. And now Peterson is going to follow the 15 up to the inside. Could have made it 3 wide. Doesn't want to force the issue. He will stay in line behind the number 3 Designs entry of Harden. Harden, though, distracted. There it is. 3 wide for the race lead.
I knew it was going to happen. He had the chance, and he just went for it. Now he's on the inside against those little bumper things. Now he's going to challenge Harden for the lead coming into turns 3 and 4. Now the 6 battling back on that outside line. So we're going to have to see what happens with Christian Peterson, how he's going to defend both of these drivers all at once. Running that bottom line so close to hitting one of the bumps and able to keep the car under control. That's awesome. Here he comes into turn 3 and 4.
If there's any car that can take those curbs, I guess it is the Super Trucks. They are the biggest out of anything, but they are still not immune, and I think a little bit more of a clean lap that last time is going to be what puts Christian Peterson out in front. Race leader just 18 laps in. he has gone from 10th position to 1st, relatively unassisted, being able to make up a lot of those positions under green flag conditions. Harden still 2nd, does have an opportunity to challenge. Harden was the highest driver in the championship standings without a win this year in the Super Trucks division. To be fair, the closest driver, though, being him, is still an 81-point deficit to Peterson in the championship. For the 23 machine again, I had thought, 40-lap race, maybe not having to force the issue and really push it. The 23 just wants to put that big number up on the board, and he's not sitting around hanging out at all. Going to be halfway this time, and he's really stretching it out.
Looking back at the pack, double O of Gabriel Woods really struggling with his car. Lap car just passed him. You can see handling really a problem for him into the turns. But now looking back to the front, Tommy Ryan now with to the back bumper of Harden, and he's just trying to get to that second place position. As you mentioned, Peterson already up to the point, a little bit past, or a little bit before halfway, I should say, and now he's just going to be able to try to run away with it. Hopefully there's help. He's going to hope there's no cautions and just be able to pull a gap continuously throughout the rest of this race. But maybe Ryan has something else planned for himself. So here we go. He's back to the back bumper of him, and the number 4 machine has pulled it behind pit wall.
So that'll be it for Randy Okum, who parks it in P10, down to 7 trucks on the lead lap. A couple of them pretty torn up. Gabe Wood's car, as you were noting, is one of them, who's at the back of the lead lap right now with some pretty good damage on the right and the back end. The best fight on track is indeed for 2nd, although Jody Green's 13 is under attack. Let's go side by side for P5. Matt Cucker closed in what was about a 4/10 of a second deficit to getting right to the bumper in 1 lap. 13 machine gets the fence a little bit. Green a little bit loose into the corner. And that's only the amount of rope that the 69 machine needs. And Cucker through and clear. He jumps up to P5. Again, he started this race in 2nd position. Went right to the race late on the opening lap of this race. Trying to recover after that wreck. He's back top 5.
He's trying to get back up, as you said. He wants to redeem himself after what happened. So he's trying his hardest. He can have some bent up sheet metal. This isn't a super speedway track, so aerodynamics is not really something you need to be worried about. All you have to do is make sure you have a good car. Make sure you're able to turn it and keep it straight. As he gets into the wall again, sends him up into turns 3 and 4 wall. That leaves the door open for Jody Green, and Jody Green is able to pass him back just a lap later. So now he's going to set himself back up to make another pass or force Jody Green into another mistake. Also, Brandon Wilkinson has retired his car.
Wilkinson's night is done. He parked it well before Randy Okum did. One of the drivers a couple of laps down in this one, although just now officially bringing that car back to the pit lane. Fight continues for 2nd, and kind of difficult to see who's got the advantage in this one. Harden pushed a little bit that time at a 2. Car got sideways, and the 6 machine is keeping him honest there, but there's still been about consistently a car length in between them. They're both slower than Peterson. I don't think this fight is at all hindering either or of them. I think they're so even that it might have to be a mistake from either party to give somebody an upper hand. The 6 machine looks to the inside, but again, once you deviate from that line, it's very difficult to get fully on the gas because that truck just gets so sideways. Tommy Ryan thinks better of it, tucks back in line, and I'm sure he'll try it again.
Yeah, you just got to wait for that perfect opportunity as the 15 gets into the wall again. You're just going to wait for a mistake, a little small mistake, as you saw earlier a few laps ago. Matt Cucker and Jody Green able to exchange positions on a little bit of a mistake going into turns 3 and 4. So maybe, Tommy Ryan is trying to force Harden into a little mistake and able to open up the door to get into the 2nd position. But, they know they're running out of laps, less than 10 to go now. So it's go time for them, and they know that even though it's 40 laps, it really wasn't all that much of a long race to begin with. So, just getting the mental mindset, and now the 15 pushes it way too hard, gets a little loose. That brings the 6 right to the door of him, and they're going to go side by side in turn 3. A little bit of contact going into turn 3, coming out of turn 4. It's going to give way to Tommy Ryan coming to lap 32.
They complete lap 32, and just kind of like I was thinking out loud there, it might have to be a mistake to help somebody. And Ryan did get, you know, the upper hand on that one. We had seen Harden get a little sideways, but he really had an issue that last time, and Tommy Ryan pounced on that one. He gets through to P2. It is an extra point in the championship, sure. I don't think there's really any point on looking forward. That bumper of Peterson is getting further and further away. Now, I assume this time by, if he could keep the speed where it's been, at a 3-second advantage. The race lead, and Peterson does pick up that 10th to get to that 3-second marker. So he is very comfortable coming to 5 laps to go, just hoping this one goes green to the end so he doesn't have to deal with a restart.
Yeah, Christian Peterson definitely praying for no caution. You know, I don't think that there's enough cars on track, and they're all spread out far enough to keep that from happening. Only one car 3 laps down on the track right now, and everybody else on the lead lap. That racks up 7 cars on the lead lap. But without a doubt, I'm sure Christian Peterson has this one in the bag. You got a lot of messed up sheet metal out there from a great race, but that 15 just falling back further and further from Tommy Ryan, so that might have put the nail in the coffin for him as well. Maybe just hoping for a mistake from Tommy Ryan enough to get into that caution out on the track right now. That's going to be Jody Green turned around in turn 2.
We were just talking about it. The 13 machine is the one that goes around, and it is a single truck spin. Jody Green, who had a lot of damage and was running second to last in the lead lap at a P6, just went into the corner like you would expect. And again, these trucks have been loose when they have been clean, so you can imagine that with that toe visibly knocked out on Green's entry, that it was not in stable condition. And as soon as the 13 started to make that turn into the corner, that car spun out. Gabe Wood almost tagged him. Jeremy Watkins almost did as well. Nobody else going to be involved in this one. And because we were coming to what would be 2 laps to go, this race is going to be red flag, so we can get everybody sorted back up and get a green flag finish.
Yeah, red flag on the backstretch. That's one of the nice things about this series. You know, it's a manual caution. It's not done by the iRacing service, so it's able to get them back organized and able to give a great finish to all you race fans out there.
We will look to see maybe just how this one will affect things. Is 2 laps really enough time for the 23 of Peterson to pull away a little bit? Is that going to be, you know, a short enough time where you can just go for the bump and run and hope that, you know, he's not going to be able to get back to you? There's no there's no conserving at this point. You're not going to be like, well, I'm gonna hang back and try to pass him clean. I think that you're going to have to get a good restart, and if you do, you're going to have to get aggressive at the 23. You're not going to get another opportunity at it. 2 laps to go is not the time to set somebody up and make a pass. It's time to just see a gap and go for it. And it's not the most preferred way to approach it, I would say, but at the end of the day, might be what it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they are picking their positions rather than going all the way around and using another lap. They're picking their positions right now as if there was a cone car right there. Gets them set up to go back racing this lap. So another great feature to the series, you know, now able to have 2 laps of racing and see if Christian Peterson will be able to pull away.
It is going to be a 2-lap green flag checkered restart. Cars now roll. We are going to be going back into green flag conditions this time by Peterson on the inside, Ron on the outside. We're going to sort it out for the final time in the super trucks for the Myrtle Beach Speedway. The pace car never came out, so we'll say it's down and in. Christian Peterson 2 laps away from another win. Green flag, 2 to go.
Number 15 at Harding really gave Christian Peterson a shot in the back end. You can see all the damage already, but he's able to pull out in front just for a moment, though. Maybe we'll see Tommy Ryan try to battle back. We saw their cars really struggling, battling with each other, so let's see how they are in the open air. But there's Matt Cucker trying to play spoiler to the number 15 machine's P3 finish, so we'll have to watch that. White flag in the air.
Last time around, Ron close, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. He drove it in hard in two, and that's going to cost him too much time down the back straightaway, and Christian Peterson will not be denied. It is going to be his 8th win in this division this year. Christian Peterson remains the king of the Super Trucks.
That was an absolute great finish. You had some wrecking behind the leaders. That was between the 15 and the 69. Matt Cucker able to come out on top of that. Just a little bit of contact coming out of turn 4, and it just went all sideways from there. So there's a great finish as well.
Sideways is the 23, but he's doing burnouts. It's a good kind of sideways on the front straightaway as he celebrates. It is his first checkered flag this evening for the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series, which is a little bit uncommon. Couple of weeks back, last regular race session that we had, he got 2 wins. He has had wins, though, in each of the last 3 regular season formats, and he will park it at victory lane. I think, again, if there's any scenario to restart where someone's going to be able to pull an upset, it's a 2-lap to go restart, and to just show that, yeah, Tommy Ryan got close, but didn't really put up a real fight to the bumper. Just kind of shows you how good that 23 was. And again, if we didn't get that yellow, Trevor, he would have won by a couple of seconds. But still, 2 laps to go restart, pulling out a half a second, just shows you how good the 23 Chevrolet was.
The 23 Chevrolet of Christian Peterson was on a rail all night. He was riding the lightning. He had a fantastic race all night long, coming all the way from 10th position all the way up to the point. So he definitely deserves this win. He fought hard all night long and able to have a strong and fast race car.
We'll get his thoughts, if available, in just a moment. First, though, we look top to bottom at your LSRTV Super Truck full race results. Christian Peterson gets the win tonight for Myrtle Beach Speedway. Half a second over top of Tommy Ryan on the green-white checker finish. Matt Cucker ends up 3rd position. Ricky Harden finishes exactly where he started, P4, and Matthew Tucker rounds out your top 5.
P6 will go to Jody Green, the person who brung out that last caution. P7 goes to Gabriel Wood. P8, Jeremy Watkins, that's 3 laps down. P9, DJ Beverly, Randy Yoakum, P10, and rounding out your 11-car field was Brandon Wilkinson.
To look top to bottom at your full race results, we go at trackside and chat with the driver of the number 23 machine. Christian, congratulations on the win. Your first one this evening for week 13 of the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series, but in a series in which you guys are very much familiar with. Your 8th win in these trucks this year, and it's safe to say that you're still feeling it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we definitely, earlier in the night, it's been a slow night for us. I think we only had 2 races tonight, but for myself, the Legends cars were really fun, and we just got edged out by Javicki there at the line, and that was a blast. So hats off to him. And then in this truck race, I think we started way in the back. I think we started 10th, so had a little bit of work to do there at the beginning, and hopefully missed the wrecks. And the truck was really loose tonight. I don't know, I didn't have much time to practice earlier in the practice sessions, so I just kind of loaded what I had for the nighttime, and for some reason, I don't know if the track was really worn in and there's a lot of rubber or what was going on, but I was really loose on entry, and that was kind of a struggle, but we managed to get it done and roll by some guys on the bottom there and get lucky on some restarts, and yeah, we got it to victory lane.
Tell us about what happened at the very get-go there, because obviously you had a loose truck as well, but you guys, I think, critically got a bunch of spots right off the start, got yourself into about P6 or 5, and then all of a sudden, everybody just starts spinning out in front of you. You're able to avoid them, end up 3rd. How critical was that to, obviously pass those cars to begin with, but then get a little bit lucky with those guys spinning out and being able to avoid it, to jump quickly up to 3rd? I think at that point, we were only at lap 10, and that kind of negated the whole fact that you had to start way in the back.
Yeah, we got pretty lucky there on real early with we were racing the 43 and the 00, and we made we went to the bottom off 4, and it was real early in the race, so the tires were sticky and it stuck down there, and we got by 2 guys there, so that really helped. And then Cucker had a few issues there up front. I think it was his debut in this class, so he was a little free on entry, probably the same thing I was experiencing, and just not being as used to the truck, he got a little sideways, and it caused those guys to check up. And I actually almost got into it. I think I got almost real sideways off of 2 and almost hit the inside wall trying to avoid some guys. But yeah, it was a little chaotic there for a second, but it definitely helped getting by those guys early on, and then just being able to fight Ricky and Tommy, because they definitely have stepped up their speed the past couple weeks.
Tonight it looked like that the Chargers in these trucks were probably the loosest cars that you guys had to handle, and in the Chargers, Matt got the win, his 7th in those on the year, which then tie your record for most wins in a single division at 7. This is your 8th win in the Super Truck, so you snag that right back. And this, again, a division where the cars are very difficult to handle. What is it about that kind of a division, as opposed to some of the ones where, you know, I would think, at least, if the car's a little bit more stable, you could get a little bit more refined. What is it about these kind of races where you really have to wheel them that can allow somebody like you or a Matt to be so good at on a week-by-week basis?
Part of it, I think, is just time, and then part of it, I think, is just knowing, like, I know I definitely don't, you know, like, ask more than I can get from the truck, so, entry is the biggest point, and you just got to make sure you're smooth with your brakes and your throttle application, and just being smooth is the biggest thing with the more powerful cars, and that's going to get you around the track as fast as you can.
It is a race win for you guys nonetheless, that it improves on what was already an 80-plus point advantage in the Super Trucks Championship. I would say a successful night out for you guys when it's all said and done. Christian, the sponsors and the shout-outs, who powers that 23?
Just everybody at Six Man, everybody at Vince here. Got to shout out Mr. Scott Austin. He's not on this truck yet, but he will be. We had a little hiatus here and haven't gotten much work done on the paint schemes, but we're gonna get a nice debut paint scheme out for next week here in the truck. So look for that, and yeah, just everybody else who puts a show on.
We wish you the best of luck in that race as well when we see you guys on the other side of the New Year's break. But until then, congratulations, Christian. We always appreciate the time, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, thanks, Evan.
The race winner tonight in the Super Trucks, Christian Peterson. So we will step aside one final time, and the end of the night is upon us. The U-Cars division will wrap things up as we go racing for a 35-lap finale. Here tonight for the Myrtle Beach Speedway, you're watching LSRTV's continuing coverage of the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series, presented by the Championship Esports Association on your home for sim racing and iRacing Live. This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSRTV, and it may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Live Sim Racing LLC and iRacing.com Motorsport Simulations. LSRTV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Back live from the Myrtle Beach Speedway, and you were noticing a little bit of a different camera angle for this one. As welcome back to our coverage of the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series. The U-Cars division has been one of our favorites all season long. You have seen my failed attempts at driving. You have seen Trevin's horribly failed attempts at driving. So Cisco Scaramuza has jumped out of the trailer. He's brought his equipment with him, though. Apparently there is room inside of the car, and the producer is out on track tonight. The Cisco is going to be taken to him, and because of that, your view is going to be on board the 014 machine. Trevin, he has a very low bar to clear. I have made one start. I have completed 6 laps. I am 41st out of 41 in the championship standings. You have started 2 races, accumulated 18 laps complete, but you have the same amount of points per race as I do, and that is dead last. So we have not been doing very good. In our defense, I think we got wrecked every single time, but Cisco thinks he's going to be able to go out there and win. So we are going to, I guess, literally see if he can, because you're seeing exactly what he sees.
Yeah, it's a different camera angle, and I'm excited for this one. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be great. You know, Cisco did have enough room in his car, and now we got a different camera angle. It's like a visor cam on Fox, so it's gonna be awesome. You know, but yes, a very low bar to clear. We'll see how many laps he makes and completes, and see if he comes on top. You know, it's a little bragging right thing we have going on at LSRTV when it comes to U-Car division. So it's always such a blast, and we're getting ready to go racing.
And I mean, we've seen the likes of Austin Coop and such win in this U-Cars division, so he's got a win. Jody Green with a win. Ricky Harden and our own Gabe Wood has 2 wins. Actually leads the championship in these U-Cars. R is up there, and if you want to win, the best place to start is P1. And as we go trackside and tell you the order top to bottom, well, the driver started on a pole for this one is Cisco Scaramuza. He will bring us to the green flag tonight, which means that you will see clean track in front of him. I think it's the first time we have had a broadcast live from the driver's seat. He will start alongside Rafe Slate, who rolls off tonight. Jeff Ryan going to start in 3rd position for this one, with the Jeff Grayson in 4th, and Rory Blum rounds out your top 5.
P6 will go to DJ Beverly. P7, Gabriel Wood. Jody Green starts P8. P9, Tommy Ryan. P10 goes to Brandon Wilkinson.
And then to round things out, Will Dravicki will start tonight in the 11th position. James Milbachler is 12th. Blake Neer, 13th. Jeremy Watkins, 14th. With Randy Oakham, 15th. And outside with him in the P16 is Ricky Harden. And as the field rolls, I noted that Gabe Wood has 2 wins. Apparently, he already thinks he's going to win because he's already got his radio plugged in.
Hang on, we got little problems.
Right, he does have to find himself in his correct position, because as we know, in these U-Cars, if you've tuned in with us, and if you haven't, every single week that we've had a U-Cars race, I would highly recommend you go back and check them out.
24's had a little problem with his transmission.
Well, you got to start 3 and 4 wide, and you are stuck behind the 024. Maybe the Solstice is a stick, and he hasn't driven one before.
Yeah, I don't think so. He's having a little trouble with it, but either way, he's got an EOL, so he's going to start in the back there and let him figure it out. But I am not approving of what's going to happen here.
as does everybody else.
Not only do we have a guy broadcasting the race driving, but he's starting on the pole.
Well, to be fair, how did that happen? You talk about like handicaps. Literally, what everybody's seeing right now is what he's seeing. So the ticker is at the top of your screen, so you can still follow through its positions. The ticker is exactly where his rear view mirror is, so he can't see it. So I told him, just go in front, don't worry about what's behind you. But he literally has no mirror, so that counts as a handicap.
Wait, he can't see? That's actually on his screen?
Yeah, no, he cannot see out the rear view mirror.
And we already have contact. The 42 just went into the number 8 machine, so already a little beating and banging, not even taking the green flag.
Yeah, guys, just so you know, the reason I turned on the virtual mirrors is because so I can actually see, because like you guys said, the ticker's in the way, so that's why I had to turn on my actual mirrors.
So you got like half a mirror working for you.
Yeah, and also I've got the admin yelling at me. I've got everybody in my ears, so good luck, guys. I'll be downstairs.
The advantage that the drivers don't have is, you know, they can watch the broadcast after. They don't have to listen to us rambling in their ear. And Cisco's going to get back on the radio channel that he's typically on, but he still has to kind of listen to us ramble on. So he is going to start this race, though, from pole position. That's why you're not seeing any cars in front of him. And the other fun part about the U-Cars, Travis, is we line them up 3x3. So you did see the green lights come on Cisco's screen. The sim has 36 laps because the first lap of this race is used to get everybody lined up 3x3 because that's not an option on the iRacing service. So if it is a 35-lap race, everybody's getting lined up 3x3. That's just happening behind the car we're riding in.
It's definitely a unique start to this, but it works out quite well sometimes. But we've seen with our incidents that happen when we race that 3 wide, you know, usually doesn't work out for one of us coming into lap 1 or lap 2. So it's interesting, but it could always be a little problem.
And by the way, not only for the first start, but you know, depending on how many restarts we may get, it is going to be 3 wide restarts over the course of the night. Now, you might see a 1 or 2 car accident, not get called for a yellow, but these U-Cars races tend to have a couple of them. If this race goes good, you're never going to see a car on screen because it is going to be the 014 to Cisco Scaramouche out front the whole time. You're riding on board with him. He's going to come to the American Ethanol green flag as we go U-Cars racing for week 13 of the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series off and away. The 014 car leads. It is the 8 Slate single file behind him, and then the 72 Blum single file third. A little bit more chaotic behind them. A couple of sets of 2x2 and 3x3. How about 4 wide back in the pack?
The 54 of Grayson just gets shoved a little bit further back, so that makes it 3 wide, and now a little bit of contact, but he's able to save it a little bit. No caution comes out. We'll keep on going. Green flag racing coming to the lap 2.
And 3 wide. Look at the 8 machine up the inside. Rafe Slade is going to take the race lead away from Cisco Scaramouche. The 04 going to try to, or the 014 going to try to cross him back up. Cisco's looking to the inside on the 8, and we'll go side by side again. Might have roughed him up a little bit there with a hard drive into the quarter. Slade's going to get some help though. A bump from the 72 of Blum. He is still there right side and throwing a block to the inside of Cisco, trying to keep Jody Green behind him. The field is catching up to him.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a hornet's nest right behind him, with Jody Green also giving a little love tap coming into turn 1. But now he's able to have a little bit more room. He's pulled out in front of Rafe Slate, but now Jody Green looking to the inside of him. You have a slow car on the bottom, has to avoid that car as well. Cars everywhere. This is the U-Car division. So much action. Now we got a spinner going into turn 1, now up into the middle of the track.
It's one car, it's Blake Neer, outside wall. So far, so good. No caution, and we will stay green, and that broke things up a little bit up front as the 014 of Scaramouche still scored in P1. The 13 trying to get low on him, and you can see, literally, that wheel turn to the left as the 014 drops the blocks, really trying to protect the inside of the racetrack, basically, at all costs. These drivers have to stay in third gear, so they're redlining. There's very little discrepancies in the speed, which is why we see this pack racing kind of like what you would see at a plate track. So the bottom of the racetrack is an imperative line to protect. We're side by side right now with the 13 on the right hand side. Tough to see him, but Green is there, has the nose on the top for the race lead.
Yeah, it's like a street stock race at Charlotte. When you start off, you got to protect that bottom line, as Cisco Scaramouche is doing right now. But Jody Green fighting back hard on that outside line, trying to get it done as he moves now down to block Rafe Slate, down to the inside. That was a fantastic move by him. I've also been seeing that the 00 is now running a little bit further below the bumps coming out of pit road, so we'll have to watch for that as well. But Jody Green able to get in front of the 014 of Cisco Scaramouche, now moves him back into the second position. Now forward, and there he goes. Contact.
Up into the outside wall. The caution flag is out. The car is going to stay going straight. But after you lose the race lead, you lose a lot of the advantage you have at the track position. I think Cisco tried to go really low, might have just barely caught the inside wall. I saw 1 or 2 sparks, and it pushed him up the hill, and they were 4 wide, and I think he was too busy making room for the 8 machine, not having room for the 6 of Tommy Ryan, and Ryan was up there, got pinched into the outside wall, and well, you were on board with it, so you could see it all happening. Almost went up and over. And we go into red flag conditions as always to get everybody back in a 3-wide situation for the restart. But you're on board with Cisco, up into the outside wall, came up on Tommy Ron a little bit. The caution flag did come out. That car, though, I think Trevin is going to keep on going.
Yeah, he's going to tough that one out, and he made it further than us did on our first race without a caution, so hats off to him, and he's the one that's putting this whole entire thing on without a rearview mirror, so that's pretty cool of him to do. But now, first caution on the night, lap 9, we're going to re-rack and restack him for another 3-wide start. This is always the best part of the night, because these guys start 3-wide like in Indianapolis 500 on a short track, so it's always exciting to see.
And as we line them up 3 by 3, the one benefit now is, and I think Cisco might not have seen the car topside because he can't see all of his mirror, but the advantage now is, not for him, but for us, is in the middle of the pack. You're going to be able to see a lot more action going on, because what was good for him of seeing nothing, was battle for the race lead, obviously. Now we'll kind of be able to see what's going on in front. I do wonder, though, how good that car is still going to be as everybody begins to roll once more and we get set to go back into how good that 014 is going to be. It was a pretty good hit. Ended up on his side, into the outside wall, pretty good. Cisco's going to restart this one in P8. You're seeing the view from the inside of 3 wide on row number 3. Where he sits at the moment, puts him about mid-pack with still 14 cars at a lead lap. Look how tight they are at turn number 4. Green flag back in the air, and the battle for the race lead is that orange car on the horizon. The 13 of Jody Green clear for the top spot.
3 wide for second now. Gabriel Wood on that top side, able to clear them all now. Going to Rafe Slate, crossing him over on that inside line. What a move by him. That's going to put him to the point. Get him, Gabriel Wood coming to the front stretch, and Jody Green able to edge him out coming to the start-finish line.
Green's still there. I thought it was all Gabe Wood on the initial crossover, but the 13 machine would not go down without a fight, and this battle continues as Cisco back in the pack, barely trying to hang on with a damaged race car, a little bit slower on the inside of the racetrack. Meanwhile, way in front of him, and again, you're looking for that pink car on the horizon of Jody Green, and the orange car, topside rather, Jody Green, the pink car of Gabe Wood, still with the pink colors on the drill spill 00. He is now finally cleared for the race lead, and there's a highlighter yellow car third. That's the one, a James Milbachler, top 3 single file. Everybody else still chaotic.
It's easy to see all of them because they're all high-vis colors. So now a car up into the wall in turns 3 and 4. That was the number...
Oh, and Cisco got tagged. Caution.
Oh my god.
It was Rafe Slate. It was his Slate in the 8 machine. It was tough to tell because it was one of the cars that didn't have bright colors on him. He got loosened up a little bit by the 07 machine, stepped it up the hill, bounced off the wall, and I think just came down. It was the 42 car who was up there at EJ Beverly, and then Beverly goes down, and you had the view on board with Cisco. You didn't really see a lot of that going on. It just looked like a slow car. He got tagged in the right rear quarter panel and spun out. That was the 42 machine of Beverly, who himself got tagged by Slate, who came down the hill and tagged Scaramouza. Also involved in that one, Jeff Ryan, pretty good into the outside wall.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, he kept it off the wall, so he's going to keep on going. He's trying to complete this whole entire race, you know, something that we haven't been able to do yet, so he's definitely going for those bragging rights. But it's fantastic to watch. He barely got tapped. A little bit more and he would have made it clear of that incident, but 2 for 2 on the night for incidents, and he's going to be lining it up in the middle of the pack again. Another great view for you guys, because you guys get to see all the action going on in front of him rather than just seeing an open track.
And I think that, yes, 2 accidents isn't that good of an outing, but first time I ever got hit by somebody when I did my race, it was like lap 2, and as soon as I got hit, I lost my engine. So Cisco's still got an engine, so it could be worse. It could be me. He is restarting P12, which again, 3 per row means he is going to be on the outside of row 4, which at the moment is second to last on the lead lap. In fact, when scoring updates, it may be last on the lead lap because we have 4 rows of 3x3. This race is still far from over. Again, we up the lap count when we decided to take some away for the Chargers division race. So this race is going to go back and still 21 laps to go. We're a long way from home as the green flag comes out again, and it is just calamity up front with the yellows, pinks, and oranges.
Yeah, a lot of contact. Now the 7 into the 1, and oh my gosh, so many car contacts sideways.
Near spins. It's the second time tonight, but it is a single car spin, so no caution, rightfully so. We stay green again.
He had it nearly saved coming into turn 1 and 2, but not able to keep it under him, as now Gabriel Wood up to the front and clear sights. Jody Green trying to get back to him as well.
To get himself back into a decent position, you're on board again with the 014 to Scaramuza. He's fighting with the 8 of Slate. That is for 8th position, and it's about 2 seconds off of the battle for the race lead. Gabriel Wood is the driver in the number 1 spot at the moment. It's Jody Green 2nd, James Milbachler 3rd, Brandon Wilkinson 4th, and Tommy Ryan 5th. And for the first time tonight, Trevin, some single file.
Yeah, it's calmed down a little bit. I believe Cisco is down in a way. No, that was not him. I'm sorry.
He passed up Slate in that battle, so he's got up to P8, and he might get spinning.
07 of Blake Neer again spinning out, and now he has a blown engine, so his night will most likely be done. But looking back up towards the front, you have more single file action going on. Cisco now back to 8th, so good run for him so far. Able to keep it clean for the most part, and able to stay in this race more than we have, of course. So 15 laps to go here.
You can see that car come out in front of Cisco, the car that had spun out, and Blake Neer spun right back out again. So he's going to call it a night. You're noticing a big gap between the onboard and the next car. It's because Cisco at 8th is 4.3 seconds off for the race lead, and Randy Yokomo's 7th is only 1.6 seconds off for the race lead. So there's obviously a big speed disparity at this point in the field when you talk about guys with and without damage. The 30 machine, you're seeing him in the rearview mirror a couple of times. That is Will Dravicki trying to challenge Cisco. He'll go topside on him.
Watching the battle up front between Tommy Ryan and Brandon Wilkinson. That's for 4th place. Wilkinson up top, and Tommy
for the lead as well. Jody Green out of the inside of Gabe Wood.
Yeah, Wood up top on the high side. I don't think you can see them really, even though with the high vis colors. But we have Jody Green on that bottom side, while Gabriel Wood is working that top side completely well. So it's a good battle for the raised lead, even though you guys can't see it really because he's too far behind. But able to keep a good battle going up, coming to the closing stages of this race.
Yeah, starting to work down towards the end of this one. Lap 23 now of 23 of 35, but the way it's going to show, we're technically in lap 22 of 36, just the way it all works with the one extra lap having to be added for everybody to grid up in this one. But to make it easy, we'll just say we're working lap 24 of 36 in this race, and the double O Gabe Wood now topside has finally relinquished the race lead to Jody Green. Jody Green 1 win on the year, Gabe Wood 2 wins on the year. James Milbachler right there at the mix as well. He's trying to get to the inside of the double O. They are side by side for 2nd. It is Gabe Wood on the outside and Milbachler on the inside, also side by side for 3rd, with Tommy Ryan on the outside, Brandon Wilkinson on the inside. All of this, though, is behind Jody Green, who is your race leader, and Gabe Wood has just cleared the one machine. So the first 3 cars are single file. They are side by side for 4th at the moment, and while Gabe Wood is there, not immediately threatening Jody Green.
A lot of contact between the 26 of Wilkinson's and Ryan. Wilkinson, and now Wilkinson trying to challenge the number 1 of Milbacher. Oh, sliding up the track, a little bit more contact between him and Tommy Ryan, but able to keep it up a little bit more, and still side by side going into turns 3 and 4. Very close racing behind the leaders. Gabriel Wood also trying to look back, trying to set him up, trying to get to a different spot of the track, trying to get around him for the race lead. Now look at him below the bumps. What a move, and it gives him a little bit of a run. Now looking down below the 13 machine.
Yeah, still side by side as we let you know what's going on up front. Wilkinson got left side tires down on that curve, and it looked like it was going to loosen him up a little bit, but he will clear Tommy Ryan. So we are all single file up at the front of the field. And Cisco tries to catch back up to Will Dravicki, who was able to complete that pass on him, as you saw, back about 6 seconds off the battle for the race lead. Single file, we are up at front. It is Jody Green, Gabe Wood, James Milbachler, Brandon Wilkinson, and Tommy Ryan, all still within 0.7 of a second of each other, so the fight's still very much on. And in fact, Wilkinson going to go to the inside of Milbachler, and Gabe Wood going to go to the inside of the racetrack on Jody Green, so we're side by side again. At lap number 29, Wood pushed up a little bit, tagged the door to Green, and will keep the inside positioning as they stay 2 by 2, now down in 3 and 4. Pretty soon, we might be catching up to the back of Cisco here before this thing's done.
Yeah, able to maintain a great pace. Gabriel Wood tried again, but just wasn't able to complete that pass. So he's gonna have to go below the pit road bumps
way below.
And tried to get a good run off of him. And here they come up to lap traffic right now. He's been doing that all night long, so it's been benefiting him a little bit, but maybe just a little hit on the bump a wrong way, and he's going around. So we'll have to watch for that as well. You have 2-car battle for the lead, or for third place right now. That's Milbacher and Wilkinson, so we'll have to watch for that, as well as Milbacher gets a good run on the outside, and Tommy Ryan also looking to go outside.
And those drivers trying to make it side by side. They've kind of been on and off a little bit. Tommy Ryan runs into 5th position. Single file, though, amongst Milbachler 3rd, Wilkinson 4th, and Ryan in P5. Side by side for the race lead again. Jody Green has stepped very much in control of this thing as the 00 gets back to his inside again in the closing laps here for the Myrtle Beach Speedway. But the 00, when you have the inside positioning, all you have to do is drive it a little bit hard into the corner, push him up and out of the way, and you've got it. And Jody Green will clear Gabe Wood again. The 00 with an aggressive drive down, really starting to go way low, and they are tight that time, but it's it is neck and neck for the race lead.
Absolutely very close. He keeps on going below those bumps, so you can see his preferred line in that turn, and it's not really a line because you're going below into the pit lane. So it's an interesting move by him, but it's working out because he's able to stay toe-to-toe with him and able to get back when he's a little bit behind. You see him, he's pulling out a little bit of a little bit of an edge right now, coming to the white flag.
And this time by going to be 2 laps to go in this race for Jody Green, and he is not going, he is going to get it back to the line. So for the 00 with Gabe Wood, they're still side by side. You do not have to clear him. All you have to do is beat him at the line. He will clear him, though. How about that? Gabe Wood, first time tonight, clear for the race lead once more. The 13 of Jody Green wants to fight back. White flag. This time by. They come to turn number 4. Green back to the outside. He has the positioning. Problem is, I think the 00 is going to be too good at this end of the racetrack as they head back to 1 and 2. Gabe Wood is going to clear Jody Green, and as James Milbachler tries to make it side by side for second, it might be all she wrote. Final time in 3 and 4. Gabe Wood has a car length, and Jody Green's going to get hit by Milbachler, and Gabe Wood is going to run away at the end. Checkered flag, his series best 3rd U-Cars win of the year.
And coming across the line, Milbachler and Tommy Ryan had a little bit of contact, and that sent to number 1, flipping end over end, still with a solid 3rd place position, but end over end. But Gabriel Wood with the win tonight, and he had a little bit of a, I guess, a little bit of a fortune telling in him, because he already said that he was going to win this race earlier on. So great race by him, a way to move up the field from 7th, and just a fantastic performance by him.
You can see the onboard Cisco, I'll use air quotes, got loose there on for the final quarter, trying to make a play for 8th position as Will Dravicki got into another accident and was really limping up on the outside of the racetrack. And Cisco will spit it home in 9th spot, and a nice view with Gabe Wood due with the burnouts on the front straightaway. So I will say Cisco lasted longer than me, but he did get in 3 times as many wrecks as I did. He still gets more points in it. That's how the universe works in my favor. I'll give it another shot one of these weeks, but We will take a full recap on this one as Gabe Wood does the burnouts around Cisco on the front straightaway as we take a look at your LSRTV full race results. Gabe Wood is your winner tonight after starting in 7th position. He will grow his championship lead in the U-Cars division. Jody Green ends up in 2nd spot. James Milbachler is 3rd. Tommy Ryan is 4th. Ricky Harden, P5.
P6 will go to Randy Yoakum, Brandon Wilkinson, P7, Will Dravicki, P8, lovely and talented Cisco Scaramuza, P9, P10 goes to Roy Bloom.
So after, and also Blum's the last driver on the lead lap. So lap down cars, 1 lap down still in this one. It was Rafe Slade 11th. The rest of these drivers out of it at the end of the night. Jeremy Watkins is 12th with Blake Adair 13th. DJ Beverly in 14th spot. Jeff Ryan is 15th and Jeff Grayson is 16th position. That rounds out the field, and that's a look top to bottom at your LSRTV full race results. We go trackside with the race winner tonight. 3rd time at a U-Cars. Gabe Wood was right to plug the mic in earlier and get hooked up on radio because he is your winner on week number 13. Gabe, congratulations. 3rd win, most of anybody in these U-Cars. I think it's safe to say you have a lot of fun when these things pop up on the calendar.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can win in.
Which I find that interesting because I feel like this would be the most wide open division. And you guys now the first driver to multiple wins, but now 3, far more than anybody else, and you grow the championship lead.
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys didn't get to see it because you're right on board with Cisco, but it was one hell of a fight between me and Jody. I really enjoyed that.
He was taking a couple of looks inside and out on you. This race car, is able to get to the end of this one, I think, relatively clean for all things considered. The U-Cars race, the driver who finished 3rd was on his lid at the end of the evening. Tell us about this one. You guys start mid-pack, but really you were up front for most of it.
Yeah, I started, what was it, 3rd, 2nd row outside? Anyway, it was pretty hairy there. We were 4 wide, and, everything was happening behind Cisco. But yeah, when we went 4 wide, I just braked and got out of it, and I was able to jump to the inside. And you guys saw it. It's pretty hairy. I started on the outside for the 2nd to last restart, and I got the good run, got past 2nd, and then I shot below him. So that was really fun. It was a really good move to get to the lead.
Obviously, this series, I think to a certain extent, you take lightheartedly. We've had a couple of cracks for us to jump in there, and Cisco has vested me in Trevin, so I assume that means we're going to be giving it a go sometime soon to try to get some reputation or some bragging rights back. But at the end of the day, it's still a championship. You guys are racing for points, and with the exception of Ricky and Tommy, who I believe were both here tonight. They were, so they've started every single race. You guys missed a start, but get the results. Most top 5s out of anybody, and in fact, the top 5 in every single start to go with those 3 wins in 6 starts this season. So how do you kind of balance, the lightheartedness and the fun of taking something that, in all honesty, doesn't really belong on an oval and racing it on an oval? How do you balance that as well with competing for the trophy?
Is there a trophy for this? I just,
There's points, so they better be giving you a trophy.
Yeah.
If I were you, I'd be making a case.
Yeah, like you said a second ago, it should be the toughest division, and it really is. Like Jody, he came out of nowhere. I didn't know he would have that much speed because I'm used to getting out to the lead, and somehow I figured it out how to drive him. But with Jody and, who was the one car? But anyway,
Milbachler.
Yeah, Milbachler. He was also fast, and he actually kind of got me the win because whenever he gave me the shot, he kind of shot up into Jody, and I was able to cross the line. But it's for fun. But if you're racing guys that much and everybody's really close, walking away with a trophy is really, well worth it.
Another win for you guys, though. 3rd, as we noted, in this U-Cars division means that you got the most in that category all year, and you gain on what was into tonight a 20-point advantage in the championship standings. We'll look to see where that ends up outside of this evening, but life is good in the U-Cars division for the 00 car. Gabe, anybody want to say hi to what we got you?
Yeah, just same people every week, everybody at UNOH if they're watching. I would like to say I did point this out during the Monday Icebreaker Series. I am starting a new not a championship, but a charity thing going on. half of all my my winnings from here for the next year are going to the Double H Ranch. So not only I can donate, but everybody else can donate. They sponsor our ARCA car. It's a really great charity. It's founded by Paul Newman. It's basically like the Victory Junction Gang Camp. If you want to go on their website, donate. They're a really great organization. But other than that, I mean, thank you guys for putting on a broadcast, and thank you, Cisco, for at least being a little bit competent behind the wheel, unlike certain other two commentators.
I know you're talking about Coop and Trevin for that one, so I agree with you.
Yeah, there's a certain Canadian.
I don't think Kelly Knowles made any starts, but I'll check in with him on that. We appreciate the time, Gabe. Congratulations on the win. It's 3. We'll see you next time when you go for 4.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Race winner tonight in the U-Cars division, and as that wraps things up, that is our 5th different winner in 6 races this evening. I'm not sure. Just taking a look back, I think we've had other weeks, Trevor, where we've had 5 races and 5 different winners. But I'm not sure we've ever had 6 different winners when we have had 6 divisions in action. And it's been quite some time since we've had 6 races. But this is the first time all year that we had 6 different ones. So I think we tie the season best for 5 different winners in 5 different races.
Yeah, it was absolutely action-packed night tonight, as it is always with the Myrtle Beach Speedway Series. But tonight was just absolutely phenomenal. I loved every single race, and it was just fantastic action. Great competition each and every race, especially the U-Car division with switches going or passes going left and right. And you know, it was an amazing night all night, and you know, I love seeing all these cars out here to make all their appearances, and you know, it's just always great. And this was a great way to cap off 2017. Only great things to come for 2018.
And I'm curious if we have a microphone with Cisco, because if that equipment was not duct taped down, it is all destroyed. But we are still on the air, so I think we've got you.
Yeah. No, we're good. We're good. It was all in carbon fiber boxes.
Okay, gotcha. Well, it started off good for you, and I mean, I feel somewhat redundant to ask you what happened because we saw what happened from your viewpoint. But you jumped into this. Then how was it?
It was different. I really wasn't expecting the car to drive the way it was. I mean, I heard Gabe talk about just how tight it drove, but I really wasn't expecting it to have to be the case where you're basically predicting it to apex out whether you like it or not, and you're basically fighting the car just to stay on the inside line. So that first kind of chunk there, I was really riding the brake, just making sure I could hold that bottom line, and then I got shuffled out of it like you saw, and kind of went to the middle. And the biggest problem for me is the fact that I usually don't run triples, but I wish I had it, because it felt so enclosed in there, and it was so hard to hear the spotter that I think it was Tommy or whoever was on my outside. I just clipped him, and it was all over from there. And from there, the car was just, you could tell I could not hold the wheel straight from there. The suspension was garbage.
Well, I know that you managed to get, I would argue, much more of your money's worth than I did, because I only got 2 points.
I only got,
well, see, I got, Trevin's raced 2 races. He has a total of 4 points. He got the minimum 2 points. I raced one race, got the minimum of 2 points. So not only, I think you got far more value for your money in this race, because you got to wreck 3 times as much as I did and still finished in the top 10.
Yeah, the second one looked about as blindsided as it did on the broadcast. I had no idea. All of a sudden, I was just spinning. And the third one, all I could say is I went over the radio to Will, because we were in the same team speak, and I just went, "Will, I'm sorry," and tried to Craven it out of 4, and it backfired on me. So,
and you had us in your ear the whole time, right?
Yes. No.
Were you trying to use us? I mean, since we were talking over your spotter, were you trying to use us as a spotter at all?
You guys were drowning out Mr. Carter a little bit, I will say. But no. The biggest challenge for driving is, for me, it was, making sure everything was fine on this side, on that side, and all while I'm trying to focus on driving. And I was starting to catch Will towards the end, and Rafe really kind of made that easier because he was a lap down, so that's why I was able to catch Will at the end there. But there's so much going on. I would not do this again if I wanted to be competitive. That's for sure.
I got to jump in here a second. That moving roadblock of that 85.
Yeah, who was in the 85, Gabe? Because it wasn't me. I was in the L14.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
Awkward.
I wasn't behind your car.
We was doing a couple of blocks. We only got to see the wheel going left.
The entirety of the first segment. You can look at my throttle position.
We saw the wheel cut left on the straightaway, so I think we know how that plays out.
I think Mr. Helton would have pulled me into the NASCAR trailer if this had been the Cup cars.
Well, I think I need to get some. I mean, I don't have any bragging rights to get back, so that's not the correct way to phrase it. But I'm behind at a race to Trevin, so I gotta at least beat his dismal 4 points and jump back in it on the 2018 side of the calendar. But guys, that wraps it up for this side of the year, because obviously this Myrtle Beach Simulation Series is going to continue. Yes, we are kind of working into the later stages of the season, but if my math is correct, we've still got 8 weeks coming up on the other side of the new year, so there'll be ample opportunities for us to kind of, jump in, Trevin, I'm sure, to strap in for one more, but at least until things get back underway next year, literally, when things resume on Wednesday, January the 3rd for a double points night. Until then, that's about it for this side of the calendar, and the series is to return, and I think a fun way to wrap it up.
Absolutely. As I was saying, action-packed night for the last night of the 2017 season. We definitely have to go back out in the U-Car division and try to get some, dignity back, I guess, because Cisco actually absolutely dominated us. So, we got to go back out there.
Which, by the way, he wrecked 3 times, and that's still a true statement, so that's sad.
Can we just not have anybody from the booth or the production trailer on the racetrack?
Listen, I don't start in front of the field and block everybody. I stay out of the way. I start last, I finish last. That's my...
Yeah, well, we got a little battle going on for ourselves, so, we can't let Cisco get...
In my defense, if you talk to Kyle, I drew for first. He's not making that up. I literally drew first.
You got first and basically an indestructible car.
No, that was completely by chance. I did not want to start in the front.
Yeah.
Just to add one more point, if we are talking about LSRTV commentators, technically I'm leading by winning the championship.
We're not jumping out of the booth and getting in the car. Like, I don't know if, Coop's here, so we count Coop in, and he's kind of more of a permanent time driver, so we're the amateurs, but sure, I don't do this thing. But speaking of the amateurs and such, we will leave things to the professionals for the rest of 2017 because tonight does not completely wrap up our coverage before the new year. We will be back with you tomorrow night, like usual, with our friends at the Upstate Racing League at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time is when all of that action starts. It is the Upstate Racing League All-Star Invitational, and we hope that you join us for that. And then at the end of the year, still 2 races to go. We have 5 hours of racing action on December the 30th and 3 more hours on New Year's Eve. Both of those races going to be taking place early in the afternoon, so you have plenty of opportunity to still go out and enjoy the New Year's festivities afterwards. And it is the Championship Esports Association Battle at the Bull Ring, presented by American Pool Supplies. So I highly encourage you to stick around for that one. Of course, you can find our full schedule online at livesimracing.com, but if you want to sign up for those races in specific, I would direct you to championshipesports.com. If you're just planning on tuning in with us, the best way to stay up to date with us is by following us on social media. That's on Twitter at LSRTV and on Facebook at facebook.com/LSRTV official. Until next time, on behalf of the entire team at Live Sim Racing LLC, for Laura Lawson and everybody else who makes it happen topside night in and night out, and of course for your broadcast team tonight, for myself, Evan Pasoko, Trevin Valderrama, William Hale, Cisco Scaramouza, and Gabe Wood, who plugs his radio in when he likes to brag about how fast he is. We want to thank you for joining us and congratulate to all of your race winners tonight. To recap top to bottom: Tommy Ryan in the mini stocks, Will Dravicki in the legends, Matt Cucker straight stocks and Chargers, Christian Peterson in the super trucks, and Gabe Wood in the U-Cars. That is it for this series for 2017, but they will return for a double points night on Wednesday, January the 3rd. That race and every race. So the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series, presented by the Championship Esports Association, can be found right here at LSRTV, your home for sim racing. Until next time, until next year, good night.